played 3 times. And it's actually quite easy to pinch you down to that list of junglers only being played 3 times. So we could see some weird junglers today.
And interestingly enough, 2 of those 3 games were played by one from Bengi and one from Amazing coming into this match. So I think that this is actually very favorable for SK Telecom. And the reason why is that you have Bengi, who's a player who, when we know him as a very strong pathing jungler. It's about his intelligence on where to be at the exact right time and getting that vision down so his lanes can really play aggressively, especially up and top, and not so much with Easyhoon, but usually in mid. So when we're switching back to a more passive style of jungling, I think this really just falls right into Bengi's wheelhouse, and on champion he can be successful.
Well, I think the biggest advantage that this kind of gives to you is not just SKT, but any blue side team right now. Because at the moment, you get to choose what purple side bans. They have to ban Mordekaiser Gangplank. That's going to happen. But now, if you third ban Rek'Sai, there's no longer a chance for you to just leave up Elise and Gragas and play those 2. You have to follow that up with an Elise ban. So you no longer can ban out Azir. You can no longer ban out this like Tom Kinch annoying kind of bot lane stuff. So it really forces blue side, like, do we want to leave up both junglers or do we want to ban junglers?
Yeah, well, I will say, if they're going to be doing that, you have to put a pretty big investment in, especially against Amazing, because I think his Lee Sin, even though he hasn't played it much, is probably his best champion, and it's his most played historically, especially if you look at solo queue. It's what he likes to play, and it's an aggressive style. So you have to be willing to throw probably 2 bans as well as a first pick if you actually do want to be able to take the Lee Sin away from him.
And another good reason to play, for example, Easyhoon, is he has one of the best Azir players in the world. He's better than Faker at Azir. He's better than Faker at Twisted Fate. And if usually how teams deal with Easyhoon in the lineup is with bans, they have 3 red side games. I don't know if they're going to be able to deal with Easyhoon's champion pool very easily.
Yep, it's a large one to say the least. Now it's time to move to the top lane, which has been the trend of the tournament. We have 2 guys in the top lane here who have proven at times that they can carry. However, on a game-to-game basis, Marin has been the picture of consistency. Soaz has stumbled at times.
And I think a lot of it just comes down to the safety in which you play aggressive. SKT has been able to cover the map better with wards than Origen, but Soaz is playing just as greedy as Marin is. He just doesn't have knowledge of when he's going to get counterganked. Origen had the lowest number of green wards in the first 15 minutes, and Soaz would end up dying because he's playing, whereas Marin's been able to get the backup from the rest of his team. I think that leads to the consistency.
Yeah, the one weakness Marin has always had, though, is sometimes he's very vulnerable to level 3 ganks. He has been known to not drop his trinket ward at the right time and fall prey to some very predictable ganks in the early game, so that may be a strategy that we see Origen try to use here. Because if you get Marin to the late game, like Jat's saying, totally agree, he'll get the wards down. Whereas Soaz, he tends to overextend, get greedy for farm, and die. So attack Marin early has usually been a successful strategy.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's going to be weird for Origen, because a lot of the time you think Soaz is greedy because he doesn't have the jungler to back him up during that. He's not farming like without any reason. It's like, well, I need to farm this or I'm going to be really out of the game. So if Origen wants to push the jungler away from the bot lane, which they have been doing, is putting it bot lane, then I think Soaz can fix his like consistency problem, because I don't think it's like on him alone.
I was about to.
It's a team thing, for sure. Yeah,
and that's why I think it's very interesting that we point out Bengi has the earliest sidestone buy of any jungler on average in this tournament, and that could be where a lot of that safety is coming from in the top lane. Want to move to the bottom half of the map now. We've got to look at the AD carries. We have the rookie Niels going up against the KDA king here at Worlds. Bang.
This is a great matchup. I mean, I think part of the reason Niels has had so much success is because of the pressure Amazing has been giving Mithy and the rest of that bottom lane down there. Niels has the highest CS differential at 10 minutes of any AD carry still in this tournament, and he also has the highest kill participation, meaning they're pretty much waiting for Niels to do work before the team does anything, and the solo laners are either farming on their own, trying to stay alive, or just teleporting down to help Niels. It's will be very fun to see whether or not Bang neutralizes that.
And we saw, I mean, too, the question is, will that KDA stick around? But in order to determine that, I want to look at their better halves in the bot lane, the supports, Mithy, and Wolf.
I think this is honestly an advantage towards Mithy this game, although the support pool is kind of shrinking, in my opinion. I think top-tier supports are becoming really, really obvious, so I don't think the skill differential will matter that much. I think this is kind of like, as well as Mithy and Wolf can work with their jungler, that's going to be the most important thing, and not necessarily how they play in laning phase.
Well, we also saw at least the Tom Kench come out for SK Telecom in the quarterfinals. That was really the one sort of new pick we saw from the team. They ended up playing it very well, and it worked out. So now we know that Wolf has that in his arsenal of support champions, and he can continue to be a threat on that particular pick, where we didn't really know that particular thing before.
Yeah, and even if we look at the champion pools, like Mithy, if the support pool is shrunk or if he's going for some wider picks, because he has the most unique champions played. He's tied with a lot of different players at Worlds at 7 here, and only one other support, Gorilla, has played 7 different supports. These two supports actually share 5 of the same picks. And I actually think Wolf doesn't have as much champion versatility. If it's probably unlikely because the way the jungle picks are going to be probably targeted with bans and the width of the champion pools in mid lane. But if the support pool does get targeted a little bit, I think it gives Mithy an edge because he seems to be able to play a lot more than Wolf.
All right, we've covered the map, top, jungle, mid, AD carry, and support. With all of this in mind, it's time to move to the predictions, gentlemen. Who is going to be the first team to claim a spot in the 2015 World Championship Finals? Probably we're starting with you.
I don't want to betray my European brethren right now, but I will have to say SKT. And sorry, you asked for my prediction.
You can't boo him. He admitted that he was going to betray you before he did it.
Yeah, I prepped the bandage before I tore it off. But if we look at Origen during Summer Split, they had really aggressive early games, mid games, and certain analysts would judge their late games because they never really play them out very correctly. Now we're looking at Origen and they're completely different. They actually play pretty slow mid game. They don't really snowball hard, and they actually play a really consistent mid-late game where they just drag out the game, which is now SKT's style they're good at. And I think this is what's bad for them right now.
Now on to the man with the chainmail SKT tie. I can
what
only
Monty's
assume where we're going here, ladies and gentlemen.
I think this prediction is pretty ironclad, like my tie, so I'm going to have to go with SK Telecom T1 here. Well, you can boo me as much as you want.
It's actually a chainmail tie.
It actually is a chainmail tie, ladies and gentlemen.
And one thing that I wanted to talk about too is Spawn's not on the desk today, unfortunately, to give his prediction. So what I have is this €1 coin, which is about the same accuracy as Spawn. So we're going to get his prediction right now, a little coin flip. And he is going to head, so SK Telecom. So given his track record, I guess that means Origen wins.
Oh, man.
There it is. There should be cheers in the crowd right now.
Yeah.
Well, you guys go with SKT. The coin goes with SKT. I will say Origen. Listen. SKT has had the easiest road of any team here at Worlds. If you look at the other teams in their group, H2K and Bangkok Titans, also their quarterfinal opponent against HQ, where they almost lost a game to HQ. They gave up 4 dragons, if not for the Baron. Which is why I think Origen 1-3, they can win a single game, and my prediction for this year's is actually SKT, 3-1.
The switcheroo, ladies and gentlemen. That's something you boo right there. All right, well, we'll find out as Origen and SKT are about to hit the rift. But before we get to the casters, Shox is standing by for a word with one of the Season 3 World Champions looking to reclaim the Summoners Cup.
Thank you very much, guys. Indeed, joined here by Faker. And well, Faker, I did want to talk to you for a quick minute because you're not starting in Game 1, such an important game on the road to the Summoners Cup. You've said, as long as we win, it doesn't matter. But what is it like knowing that your team is about to play this game and you're not?
페이커 선수가 이전 인터뷰에서 비록 경기를 뛰지 않더라도 팀이 이기면 괜찮다라고 얘기하셨는데 이제 이렇게 중요한 경기에 후보로 경기를 안 뛰는 것에 대한 심정이 어떠신가요?
우선 저는 제가 뛰는 것을 좋아하지만 그렇지만 지훈이 형이 뛰어도 저는 믿을만하다고 생각하고 또 제가 먼저 뛰지 않음으로 인해서 제가 좀 마음이 편해져서 좋은 점도 있는 것 같아요.
Even though I enjoy playing at the desk, but I trust Easyhoon as my teammate, and because I'm not playing for the first game, I'm kind of relieved, so it goes well like that.
Okay, well, a lot has been said about the differences between you and Easyhoon and your playstyles, but what, in your eyes, is the most important difference?
많은 사람들이 페이커 선수랑 이진 선수 간의 차이가 있다고 하는데 페이커 선수 생각하시기엔 어떤 차이점이 가장 큰가요?
우선 지훈이 형은 몇 가지 챔피언을 저보다 더 잘 다루고 그렇지만 저는 폭넓게 쓸 수 있는 그런 장점이 있는 것 같고 또한 플레이 스타일도 게임 내에서 지훈이 형이 라인전에서 저보다 더 강하게 압박하고 그런 점이 다른 것 같아요.
So I think the biggest difference is champion pool. Easyhoon is on the few champions and he's better than me at those. but I think I have a wider champion range. And at the lane phase also, I think Easyhoon puts more pressure on the opponent than I do.
Well, still in this matchup, you guys are huge favorites against Origen, but Origen have the crowd behind them as well. Faker, how is it going to turn out?
지금 많은 팬들이 여기서 오리진 팀을 응원하고 있는데 페이커 선수 생각하시기에 이번 경기 결과가 어떻게 될 거라 예상하시나요?
여기가 유럽이기 때문에 제가 오리진이 이긴다고 하면은 큰 호응을 받을 수 있겠지만 그렇지만 저는 SKT이기 때문에 SKT가 3대 0으로 이긴다에 걸겠습니다.
Okay, since we're here at Europe, I think the crowd would like me to say Origin, but since I'm an SKT man, I would say SKT would win 3-0.
All right. Well, thank you very much. That was it from Faker, and I think it's about time that we get into the game. Let's head over to our casters.
Merci beaucoup, Sharks. Bonjour et bienvenue, mesdames et messieurs. I am David Freak Turley. I am here with two wonderful co-casters, Sam Kobe, Hartman Kensler, and Mitch Krepo-Vorspels. As a man who can speak the language, how did my French do there?
Your French was
Passable?
painfully average.
Painfully average, so much like
Just
your
like your
casting,
casting.
we're ready to go.
Holy moly!
We got
All
the
right.
jokes
Good thing I'm in the
already.
middle.
Yeah, you can moderate for us. So guys, we've heard the analyst predictions here. It's like a net 12-1 in SKT's favor. Certainly a difficult match for Origen here. So what do you think is going to happen here, maybe to cause the upset or for that 3-0 avalanche people are expecting?
I think SKT is just going to take it clean 3-0. The only way Origen has really won these games is with like this massive late game, really good shot calling, but you don't need that because the game's over by the time you can actually do that against SKT.
We can all agree that this game is going to be a lot about multiple points of pressure on the map at the same time. And because of that, you know, there's one of the reasons why I actually think they're using Easyhoon. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about Easyhoon's Azir, and rightfully so, but his Twisted Fate pick is so important versus something like Origen. Faker's actually only had one Twisted Fate game in all of Season 5, and it was one of SKT's rare losses. Whereas Easyhoon, I've been spying on him, and he's played a lot of it in solo queue. It's one of those champions that he has been focusing on. I think it's a really good pick, specifically against Origen, where you know there's going to be so much about map movements, and using a champion that can traverse that much distance that quickly is very important.
Yeah, both these teams have an incredibly similar style in the mid game, which revolves around not grouping up at all and just splitting up and pushing all lanes at once, 1-3-1 or 1-2-1 with a roaming jungler in between, and that's generally what SKT like to do. Origen, they play the same version, they just play it worse. They peel off a lot sooner, and they make these tiny mistakes, and they give up the pressure that SKT is so good at putting. In addition to that, SKT just managed to get ahead every single game at 10-20 minutes, whereas Origen, they're struggling.
And it's unfortunate. It's been people kind of overextending for things they're not supposed to get. We heard Jat talk about the lack of wards early game from Origen. Monte Cristo talks about how the fact that Bengi is always in the right place at the right time and picking off these overextended members. So it seems like the general holding pattern keeps looking SKT's way.
That brings up one more prediction I have. I think that Thresh and Tom Kench are going to be the two most important support picks for these two teams because of that factor of everyone's going to be spread out so much, and supports that are able to save someone who's extending in a lane, who's trying to push the wave and gain that map pressure advantage. Those are going to be two really key picks.
Yeah, definitely key picks. In addition to that, Alistar is just going to be a really high priority pick for Wolf because unlike Mithy and Amazing, they really roam together as a pairing, both on the same screen together. Bengi and Wolf, they kind of split up one by one, and it's a lot easier to play that way if you have Alistar.
Alistar is a strong independent support.
Strong independent support. Need no jungler near him. Exactly. That's the way they like to play, but obviously it can change against an opponent. They obviously have prepared for each other. Especially level 1, I want to see if Origen has actually found a weakness, because there's a distinct weakness in one of the level 1s
don't give away too much.
that SKT runs. I'm just waiting to see it happen, hopefully, because we're getting into game pretty soon.
Yeah, Champ Select has begun here. So ladies and gentlemen, we are into game 1 of the semifinals as Champion Select has begun. And my big question is exactly how locked up are Origen's bans? There are some red side teams who will put all the bans themselves. They'll ban Mordekaiser and Gangplank. And there are some that are happy to share the burden with the blue side team and leave it for the very end. We see that GP actually banned by SKT here.
SKT's ban pattern usually goes as follows on blue side. They ban one of the OPs, which is considered Gangplank or Mordekaiser. They have 7 Mordekaiser bans this entire tournament already, the most out of any team. And then they target ban a certain player twice. So usually you would see in this trend, it would be support ban coming out third to try and pinch that champion pool.
Yeah, this is actually a little wrinkle here in the second ban being Gangplank. I was thinking that it was going to be Mordekaiser because they've done that so often. but they do as well have 3 Gangplank bans.
And this is already interesting from Origen, because every single blue side game, SKT has first picked the jungler. The jungler's always ended up being Elise. But Origen have already pushed upon themselves 2 jungle bans, and they either have to lock up... Actually, no, they're not even going to ban Mordekaiser themselves, so SKT actually giving breathing room to Origen, who are banning Lulu off there.
That could be at least pick here instantly off the bat from Bengi. Would be weird.
I don't feel the need, since both Elise and Rek'Sai are banned out now, and Gragas, of course, is globally banned, to early pick that jungler there for SKT. Bang has been one of the most feared Kalistas in the entire world. It was a huge talking point at MSI, and he proved his point there.
Here we go. We see the next priority champions coming across there. The Alistair that we thought might go to Wolf, taken away as quickly as possible by Mithy. Of course, the Kalista stolen away by Marin.
I think it's a good lock in here. Both these champions take a lot of power away from SKT because they're so smart at playing this split push style. If you add an invisible jungler in between that in the mid game, it's almost impossible to play against a team of SKT with an Evelynn. Also, again, the Alistair is a clear steal away from Wolf.
We'll see what's next up on the docket there. Bengi already locks in the Jarvan. Of course, we have seen him play top as well as in the jungle. The Shen also could be a top laner or a support.
The Shen pick I actually really like, even though we haven't seen it from Wolf, because we talked about champions that can move across the map really quickly are going to be very important in this matchup. It's going to be all about multiple points of map pressure. Shen adds that no matter if he's in a support role or from the top lane role, because if he's in the support role, then he can actually use level 6 teleport up to the top lane and try and snowball Marin, who's been the king for SKT.
Yeah, and it definitely suits Wolf's playstyle in the mid game. What he does, he just goes into lane that is the weakest matchup in terms of lane control and pushing, and he tries to amend that wave clear deficit or just pressure deficit. He can also ulti to either side lane if he chooses to be in the mid lane or just anywhere on the map. So much pressure coming out for that split push style here for SKT T1.
So Origen to lock in the next couple of champions here. xPeke not actually going to yet lock in that Victor. And there we go, it's going to be the champion for him. So it's going to leave SKT to, as usual, last pick in their mid lane. This Kennen, of course, can be a flex pick. Niels may have picked it up from Reckless in the last couple of weeks, or it could still go to Soaz. And Origen will look for matchups before flexing that around.
SKT right now, I'm really curious what they want to combo with Jarvan. They already have one champion who can create team. Hovering over
2 more.
Yeah, Nivea. Yeah, exactly. 2 more champions. They could just create their own battlefield. Try and work with here.
Technically, Jarvan can end up being top lane.
It could be a solo lane, could even be mid. It's not really an Easyhoon.
Could also just be an entirely different play, teamfight style, because we keep talking about split push, split push, split push, but for all we know, they may just want to group up early and just keep going for those objectives, because they're so fantastic at securing a lot of these dragons too, as opposed to a lot of other teams.
And on Origen side, they do technically also have that Kennen as flex as well, so not giving away too much there for the top lane matchup.
This lineup looks like the lineup for SKT right here. The Azir and Fiora. Marin has been an absolutely immaculate Fiora player so far this World Championship. We mentioned it before. Easyhoon known for his Azir, maybe the very best in the world, which means it is jungle Jarvan, Shen, and now Origen flex the lineup.
Yeah, this does make the Kennen a lot more valuable in the top lane. A pretty good matchup right there. Keeping your distance against the Fiora, always to stun her if she comes at you. You can prevent her from proccing that ultimate, definitely so, with your own. And then it puts Niels in an 80 carry heavy position though, because you're running double AP with very little peel.
Especially good pick with an Evelynn jungle. If Kennen gets jungle help against Fiora, somebody has to bail Fiora out or she gets relegated to the jungle. If there's any jungle intervention there and Kennen gets a leg up, it's very, very oppressive.
And keep in mind that if you're in a lane swap as well, it's not exactly easy for Fiora to get denied farm early on. Kennen, of course, plenty of utility on the kit, can do something while starved. And Origen to make their last choice for what looks like 80 carry.
Yeah, SKT in the last 6 games have sent their bot lane bot every single time and Marin to the top lane, so lane swap is actually not that likely, so maybe if Origen can use this information, they can find the favorable lanes.
The SKT lineup, though, looking really well-rounded to me. They have multiple split push options. They've got late game secured with Azir, and they have Kalista to carry them through mid. So very versatile setup here from SKT. Coming into a game 1 of a best of 5, this is the type of lineup that you are looking for. You know, kind of be able to defend against any strategy.
And yeah, early push in the mid lane. Azir just spamming those soldiers down. Victor needs a little bit of time before he can really start challenging that wave clear with the E. Need a couple of upgrades there on that spell. So early push from Easyhoon. Maybe Bengi can help Marin in the top lane to help that matchup. And then Kalista Shen should do fine into almost any matchup, especially against melee support. So SKT setting up for their signature style already.
And I want to see what happens then to Amazing here in the jungle. If Evelyn doesn't get a lot of help, that champion does get low while clearing camps and whatnot. And you talked about Easyhoon pushing up, the dueling looking good. Bengi can be very aggressive, and jumping into that Origen jungle and pushing down Amazing, certainly a possibility here for SKT.
Yeah, I actually think that SKT may look for the lane swap here. You know, maybe trying to avoid not only the Fiora Cannon, but also the Kalista plus Shen.
All right, well, we'll see what these matchups end up being. Brussels is here to cheer on their favorite teams. You guys at home are always part of the conversation as well. Guys, let us know who it's going to be. Tweet at LOL Esports, hashtag SKT when if you go with the analyst desks, or hashtag OG when if you go with the home crowd. But we are here to find out which of these two teams will send a player to their second World Championship final, the chance at their second World Championship. And here we go, game one of the semifinals. South Korea's SK Telecom T1 versus Europe's Origen. And here we go.
All right. Now that we get the scenic route here with those banners.
Take notes, guys. It's no team has gotten to see that close into SKT's base the entire time here at Worlds. They have not even given up a tier 2 turret. See if Origen can take one from them.
All right. Looks like a bit of an invade here from SKT, forcing out Soaz. And this is different because usually the one point of weakness in any SKT game start has been the top left side of the map, where then Bengi and Marin would start duo jungling without a ward. SKT have been incredibly greedy with their trinket usage early, but right now it does look like Kobe was on the money with his lane swap call.
They have gotten a little bit of an early advantage there as well, forcing Soaz to level up Lightning Rush. No matter where you start, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult.
Not a happy place for him, but meanwhile, Peke and Easyhoon have actually already done battle. Easyhoon is missing some health, so Peke has dealt 100% of the damage in this game. Beautiful start.
Good job, Preet.
Former world champion.
Not only does it work well in terms of matchups, getting Marin out of that sticky cannon situation, it also just doesn't really help Evelyn at all being in a lane swap. She really wants standard lanes to be unpredictable and go multiple directions and surprise people. Right now, if you're locked into a lane swap, you're duo jungling for a very long time. The map is nicely split in half, so as a jungler, I'm sure you know more about that, Kobe.
I do think it's also a good split start here from SKT, as they start in 2 quadrants at the same time. A lot of vision down there. Making sure that Origen are not starting on that side. Has Shen leveled up the taunt yet?
Yeah, he has taunt already, wants to push. Okay, but with the wave already pushed in, there's nothing that Easyhoon can do here, so nothing much done. He keeps his team safe. Origen did start aggressively in the bottom jungle. Bengi and Marin will react and perform similarly.
I mean, it looks like we're just head on track for just the EU-style lane swap where both teams do a double quadrant clear, send 3 people top, jungler keeps jungling, and the wave gets bounced towards their top laner. Just need to see if SKT don't make the mistake they did earlier in one of the HQ games where they left the tower alive for a very short period.
Yeah. Also, because of that sort of split start that I was actually complimenting from SKT, they're behind. They actually were not rewarded for the attempt at a mid lane gank and a mid lane pressure, and that means that Origen are a few seconds ahead here on the early tower take, a bit quicker in the jungle. They've sent Amazing back to their own quadrant as well, which is very safe for him to farm, so they can take down this turret while Amazing continues to get experience.
To make up some of that turret damage, though, you're going to see that SKT have brought all 4 of those players to the top side as Bengi just finishes off the Krugs. CZ does not need to be part of this fight at all, and it will be the 3-man take, but I don't believe this will be stopped by anyone, so it should be an equivalent turret trade.
Yeah, you just got to see what they do in phase 2 of the lane swap. Little adaptation here from Origen. The gold does not go to Soaz. It does become a bounce here by Niels. He has killed E, so he can't freeze this wave. But usually what you see is the next step in his evolution. Instead of freezing this for extended periods of time, you just push it back towards the people that come to defend it. So,
yeah, this does signal to me, though, that they want to try and continue knocking down all the outer turrets with Tristana, get her rotating around, and keep up this early sort of map control lead that they do have. Soaz is going to be the obvious one that will take a hit because of this strategy. Marin just got the local gold all to himself for that turret.
Yeah, they're just going to move their bot lane to the top lane, force Marin to walk and teleport bot 2 because they're basically doing a fake out right here. They're saying, okay, we have Soaz here, come gank us, we have an invisible Evelyn, then the bot lane will show up. and they move away from that play all of a sudden because Niels, he ran mid and bottom all of a sudden. So this is something we see way too often from Origen. They go in for a play, hesitate, and switch it up.
Well, also, I mean, Evelyn's invisible, but Alistar is not. And Mithy was trailing and walked over a ward. So Marin not going to take that bait.
It is we're seeing the lane assignments though. So Origen have sent their dual lane back down to the bottom sides. They're not content to continue trading turrets. This is, I think, why they gave solo gold to Niels. He got a pickaxe plus a potion on his recall versus the longsword of Bang. So item-wise, Origen's dual lane is ahead.
They're probably just trying to secure the matchup. If they send 4 top, they can keep Niels there. If the matchup ends up being the bot lane, send Soaz bot with teleport to find Marin. If he is not there, Niels just pass back to the bot lane, and Soaz can stay top with his teleport. So it looks like Origen just wanted to find that 1v1 Ken Fiora matchup.
And let me touch on both junglers here, because both junglers have only been setting up for counter ganks here. Both junglers have just been waiting for the first move of the other team. Amazing trailing top because they thought that Soaz would be the target since he was their weak member. Meanwhile, SKT, they were trailing behind Bang there because that's the extended lane. That's where they did not have a turret. And you would expect the obvious move from an Evelyn who is invisible, go attack the SKT members that are in the long lane, try and chase them out and get one of those cheap early kills. Neither team going for those riskier early plays though, and the counters just sort of nullify each other.
So right now, with the less risks happening, you can see the early recall from Bang. He needed a vamp protector for the lane to even. So a small lead for Origen thanks to the dual lane advantage, temporary though it may be. Meanwhile, of course, Marin is winning the top lane. With a pink ward already down, Bengi is unseen coming in here.
Soaz has been playing really, really safe though, and since he is Kennen, he can see us from range, plus he has his own lightning rush. We know he leveled it up early. Also has a ward, does get hit though, he's slowed.
And he's missing a turret, so here comes Bengi. He's gonna flash for the slow, which means Soaz has to burn it preemptively, and he guesses right. Bengi goes the wrong way, Soaz goes back in onto Marin, and the stun is still available. The Q comes in, gets some damage down, but where's his team gonna be? There's no one around right now. He's still running away through the wards. Pops summoner teleport. Oh my God! Soaz is a god!
So many mind games to go over there first. Soaz tries to juke out both members with his awkward flash, the angle that you would not expect him to go. He only got one member tricked there, and Marin actually stayed and intelligently held onto his flash, but Soaz goes for the teleport instantly inside the brush, and it just barely pays off. Half a second too short there for Bengi with the knockup.
But this was a paid straight out of SKT's playbook. Whenever towers go down, they really want to get Bengi to gank the tower that has gone down in the tier 1 one. So you can get behind the rubble. People usually feel safe in that point of the lane, but then they forget to realize that their tower is gone behind them, even if you have a gap closer like Kennen.
And that's exactly
played around by Bengi with the flash
SKT
W.
were protecting themselves against on the other side of the map, so they were expecting Origen to do a very similar thing. So as though now he has no summoners, he's going to have to be extra careful here. A little bit of extra vision has been placed defensively for them. For Origen. They've also got the red buff quadrant of SKT warded up as well. So they'll see the second take of that buff and Bengi's whereabouts.
Yeah, but that gank failing and just not amounting to a kill just puts Origen in such a comfortable position. Not only do they get to see where Bengi was, he had to blow his flash. They traded that for cross-map vision in the jungle, and now they're in control of the next move. They're first to play.
Also, I would be looking at the bottom lane for some action here from Origen. Because they have the red quadrant warded up, they have to assume that Bengi is on the top side of the map, and the Tristana-Alistar combo does have that early lead. Soaz here might be the next target, though.
It's a bit of a payment, though. Soaz has been freezing this lane for a long time, and you're right, he is flashless, so this could be a target of opportunity, but he's already awarded for himself. He saw Marin come through. He'll see if Bengi comes in as well. Amazing, sussing out the pathing of his opponents, going for the exact same buffs that just happened, and now Marin has to farm in a lane that's overextended.
Mithy is 75% away from level 6, by the way, so that dive is not close to being pulled off without extra vision of all SKT members.
But of course, outer turret's gone, so Bang has to play super far back. Niels is obliging by pushing at the very least. But it does unlock amazing for some of these lanes. You can see how far back Wolf has to play.
The dive could go mid as well once that Alistar hits that level 6. Azir actually is extremely vulnerable to it.
The other side of that coin is, though, if Soaz keeps the wave frozen in front of his tower and is comfortable playing on the defense of his tower, that frees up potentially Marin and Bengi roaming mid to dive xPeke. If that happens and mid tier 1 falls, then suddenly the map is in control of SKT. So Origen have to be careful a little bit, and that's maybe why we see Amazing come out here.
They
He's
stop
gonna
Marin.
tag him.
But of course, Marin
He'll
still
be
has
able to
flash.
get away. Will they find the pink ward though? Amazing needs to get something for his trip up top. It looks like he did not go into that brush, but he saw Marin move, so
He
he'll
knows.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Yes, there must be a pink ward in here, and he will take it down.
We'll allow Origen if they want a hard push and force Marin's teleport without missing a bunch of waves. So there's a chance for that play here. But either way, we are on a 600 gold lead for Origen as we get to the 10-minute mark. This is pretty much unlike any of the stats we would have seen coming into this game, but kind of down the line, for literally every player, you have a farm advantage for Origen.
And well, 200 of that gold is on Amazing purely because he's been farming harder as Bengi's been trying to camp for Marin, and so has wasted a lot of his time. The rest of that gold is mostly on Tristana, on Niels, the champion that they want to knock down the rest of the outer turrets with. Look for that all-in. Alistar Tristana, very dangerous in the all-in combo, especially if there's an invisible jungler there.
Yeah, just 2 signature moves in this early game so far. The one flash outplay to teleport from Soaz staying alive, because that counteracted one proactive move. And then the little cheeky move where they made sure that Soaz was matched up against Marin and Niels pathed down because they didn't really lose anything. So Origen with 2 minor outplays on the map, but that only leaves them marginally ahead.
By the way, Soaz teleport is back up, so they were unable to punish him so far for the early use of that summoner spell. Plus, remember, xPeke did use his teleport mid, so SKT do have the 2-to-1 teleport advantage. Here comes finally that aggression down bottom, though.
There's no SKT jungler around. Amazing would theoretically be alone doing this, but SKT constantly playing very far back. Now a fight in the top side.
Soaz flash still on cooldown.
Bengi.
Pop will stun Marin, will not stun Bengi. Soaz unwilling to flash, unable to get away. First blood to Marin, and SKT strike back.
SKT have now taken first blood in 9 out of their 10 games. They are the kings of finding those first blood. If at first you don't succeed, well, you come back once he just has no way out. Soaz again overextends in that lane. No tower to back him up, no jungler to back him up. And yeah, well played by SKT.
Yeah, keeping track of that flash timer going to make sure they get there right before it comes back off of cooldown. So as not having it available gets punished.
It's a good thing. SKT able to now pull a 500 gold lead for the team as they kill the mini wave left over on the map. Amazing still unable to find his mark in this game. Runeglaive is done, so he's got the jungle enchant for himself. Deals plenty of damage. Okay, he did get the Raptor.
Yeah, risky early smite there. But does get it as well as the ward. Down bottom now. They still haven't made a move, and there's a pink ward that will see him coming in.
Yeah, SKT have done a good job of not getting any deports in the lanes. Hang on, Easyhoon.
Whoa, big move there. Nice flash gets away from Emperor's Divide. Easyhoon forced to use his as well to not get traded back on. xPeke with a well-respected move. Now a bot lane fight. Good rocket jump by Niels. Buffers it against the Callisto ulti. Gets away.
Yeah, I don't know about being forced to use it in the mid lane there. Easy.
I think the E cooldown was close enough to being back.
Very scared. He didn't see the laser come out first. Just used it.
Uh-oh, Marin, he's got the ulti, pops it. Soaz gonna be in a bad way.
Near the
Does
wall.
have flash. And it's gonna be a flash follow. There's only 1 vital left, and Marin can't quite reach it, but he gets the slow. 1 hit will kill. A stun for Soaz, but it's enough to get Marin the kill anyway. 2-0 to the SKT top laner.
Amazing, still trying to make something work out bottom, but Bengi is here, giving even better than he's getting.
And Mithy's ult's already down. A 3-man knockup. Beautiful. Gets one back from Alistar, but Mithy is already dead. Wolf survives the chase. Niels gets 1 back. It's already 4-1 SKT, though this game is falling apart. Bengi takes a couple of shots, does miss the knockup. Niels really wants this kill, nearly gets it. Bang almost dies as well. If anyone would show up, it's a sure double kill, but Soaz is missing flash. He's almost in range for the Q. Bang is gonna get taken down. 2-4 now, Origen clawing back in.
Easyhoon is still here, so Soaz does have to be careful. All right, he's not gonna go any deeper. Now
No flash.
it is only a few hundred gold lead for SKT, even with the extra 2 kills.
What worries me is though that all these plays seem to be initiated by SKT, so the gank top, Soaz had to outplay this play bottom. He had to teleport in, save that. Easyhoon was roaming proactively, and SKT they want to get stuff done. In Origen, they're just fine, sitting back playing that game slowly, but just against a team that is as creative as SK Telecom, it's a really risky strategy to do that.
I mean, the Marin Fiora pick that we highlighted obviously very important to SKT, and Bengi camping up there for a large portion of the early game. Marin able to make that pay off. This Dragon, though, gonna go over to OG without any vision there from SKT.
Well deserved. Proper recall timing. Niels has plenty of attack damage, and Bang looks like he just went back to the Blade of the Ruined King. Another team is mid already. Azir was getting blue buff, so Easyhoon is shut out of this lane.
You may have to ulti here.
Doesn't matter what happens. Origen up now 2 turrets to 1. They got the first Dragon as well. A 400 gold lead.
Origen is really good at getting members in from different lanes. Hang on, Marin.
Gotta be careful.
Overextended.
He can jump over the wall.
Soaz is above him though.
Lands for the slow. Marin will riposte the stun and actually pulverize Mithy, but it doesn't matter. Soaz gets his second kill of the game.
So he would have had to jump over the thin part of the Baron wall when he first saw Tristana there. If you go up further, that section of the Baron wall is too thick to jump over, and he had no option at that point. Origen get a pick off here, and it's going to be a tower trade, it looks like. Bang is all alone down bottom, but Origen continue to push top, so...
Yeah, it'll be a 1-for-1, and the score will be 3-2 here. Origen have more than enough members here. I think it's nice for SKT, the fact that Callista can knock a turret down. And Bengi will look for a play. Peke does not have flash. Shenalty's in as well, and the Victor W will land a bit of a stun, but here comes the taunt, here comes the Azir damage, and that's a great kill in the mid lane for SK Telecom. The turrets will be traded. Won't take long for Bang here, and we can see the game still very close.
Yeah, that's a big kill. You lose your mid lane wave clear and all the map
They should go for this
even
dive.
if they dive this, maybe risky.
Knock-up. Marin has no flash, no ult. He can look for the riposte. There's going to be a big chunk of damage, and Niels dunks better than Darius could ever hope to.
These are the dangers we talk about. Since we have to keep up pressure on multiple points of the map, SKT are showing all of their members on the map. They used 3 people mid and Bang still bottom. That meant that once Marin showed, they knew it was a free dive.
But it's still a turret trade. That mid lane kill let Easyhoon push one thing down. Okay, a tier 2 is worth more than a tier 1, but it's still tit for tat every single time.
Yeah, Marin
The extra kill here.
overextending here. That should never happen. You should play passive on this side because not only does he die here, this gives Origen a tier 2 tower, something that nobody has ever done in this tournament so far against SK Telecom. This is the first tier 2 tower that has fallen on their side.
That's why I really like that vision toggle by the spectator right there, by the way, because you could see Marin had no idea that Origen were still there, and it was about the amount of information that each team is giving up in this game. SKT like to play a little bit risky in that they push all waves at the same time. So they're constantly giving information on all of their champions, whereas Origen were just outside the fog of war there. You could see in the toggle, and they surprise Marin. They make him pay for that slightly aggressive or greedy move going for the extra minion wave.
Yeah. Both teams trying to contest the Dragon area, and usually, if you watch these teams play so far in World Championship, again, very focused on pushing all lanes. That means the majority of the deaths in the early to mid game are people getting caught out, getting too greedy to push that wave. We distinctly remember Bengi in mid lane one time getting caught out, Bang getting hooked twice by a Thresh when trying to push out these waves, and Origen are using the vision and SKT's greed against them right now and punishing.
And I expect there to be more of these types of picks without seeing the Tahm Kench and the Thresh in this game. These are kill supports. These are supports that revolve around making the picks, not protecting against them too much. Wolf actually even offensively using the Stand United. Not trying to save someone, he's trying to change the numbers, go for that offensive move, gain ground. This is how SKT snowball. They play so sort of greedily and risky. They try and push so many things at once.
And meanwhile, pushing into the top lane, though, Marin very overextended, but he's got Bengi just behind him. This will not be a kill picked up by Origen. All is well. And Kobe, as you were talking about playing aggressively, Mithy's even gone for his second item as distortion boots on his upgraded boots mobility. He wants to hit these flash pulverizes all the time.
And I think this is the correct the way to play, because you have a high chance of gaining incremental leads this way at a fairly low cost. But we do see it punished right there, and you have to work around the large cooldown. The cooldown we just saw, Marin burn his flash, that's something that you paid for the extra minion waves, the extra danger of pushing that far with all 3 waves. Now that they don't have it, he can't afford to make that same sort of risky play.
The initial action has died down a little bit, and we had some action, but overall still 9 kills in 18 minutes. The thing you really want to watch right now is the minimap. Whenever members come out of the base, SKT always assign their members so far in this tournament to the right lanes immediately. Whereas Origen, they will hesitate. They will send Niels mid to help xPeke. Turns out he didn't really need that help. Niels goes bottom. Soaz helps xPeke, then gets pushed to the side lane. And that way, Origen farmed less in 15 minutes to 30 CS overall on the map because they lose some waves here and there, as opposed to SKT, who seem to never hesitate, especially Wolf. He's always there to help a poor matchup.
I think that's a really good point, and we were talking with some of the guys on how the Origen shot calling goes. All of them have input, and all these guys add, information and what the ideas of where to go. But they don't have that instant reaction of one shot caller that's leading the entire way and a definitive route for them leaving. So that's where you see these small moments of hesitation.
Yeah, we just saw it right there. 5 members to the mid lane. They're talking who goes where. Then they fan out to the side lanes. It doesn't really lose them too much, but it does indicate that this may be true.
The thing is, though, it's a really crucial timing right now for Origen. Double item Tristana is done, and Dragon's coming up in 15 seconds. Callista cannot match this recall timing. Riley's also done for Peke. He's got a bunch of big items. This is a power spike for Origen if they can contest this Dragon properly.
That's actually an interesting first buy there for Peke, considering I would think that the Evelyn would also go Riley's.
He just wants control in these team fights around these objectives, because if Soaz can get a flank off and the remaining parts of Origen can just hard collapse in these fights.
Good dodge by Amazing, gets away from the knockup. Callista ult also pops. We'll look for Mithy here. Trade of ulti knocks in Wolf. He can no longer be saved. There's the headbutt into Tristana. Wolf cannot survive. That will still kill him. Mithy is going to push forward. So will Niels. Soaz is in. Pops the ult. Lands a stun on a Bengi. The collapse is there. The Chaos Storm won't reach. But Amazing goes in. Easyhoon to turn it back around. The turret will get the kill. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of Origen, and they've got control.
Could have sworn he did that because he wanted the W reset so he could speed out, but didn't see the reactivation there.
I might look at that replay.
He got hit by the Azir Q for the slow. And Marin gets top lane tier 2. That turret goes down. Origen do not collapse and cap plays for a Dragon. So
also
+1 kill for a turret kill.
Yeah, Marin had teleport, so he could have joined, but SKT generally are really good at reading when to concede fights, but then when to re-engage, even though they have a numbers disadvantage very often in these fights. So Marin pushes up top, forces Soaz to react, and they end up getting the Dragon anyways. Mostly because, let's face it, that was an incredibly greedy flash from Amazing. You should not be flashing under a tier 2 when the guy is already at 10%.
Absolutely agree. So an overstep by Amazing. One of the first major mistakes we've seen now from Origen. SKT react beautifully. Shen'll teleport, go back down to the Dragon, push him off, even the blue buff afterwards, and it's huge.
Yeah, sometimes too busy asking if you can.
Yeah, you were so preoccupied with whether you could that you never, asked yourself.
Ask if I should. He could go get that kill, but the amount of time and the resources that it takes to go get that kill, you're not worth giving up the objective control around the Dragon. SKT get the turret and they get this Dragon.
Good sidestep here though by Amazing. Forces 2 ultis. Mithy turns it around. Already used ulti, so he wants to turn that into aggressive play. Shen support not strong enough just now. Niels jumps, then dies. Jumps again, so trampoline here from Niels. Soaz coming in, and at this point, when the jungler's chunk low and your objective is the Dragon, you turn around.
Let's see here. What does stop the second double? Oh, he did activate it, and you're right. The soldier hits the Q just on the way out.
So unfortunate stuff there for Origen and a bit of a misplay. So the game is back to tied. 1 Dragon each, same kills, same turrets. Farm is ±15 down the board. And Origen go for the rush play. Teleport and Shen ulti both down. This Dragon will die pretty fast. SKT knows. They're coming.
But it's way too late for them.
Gravity field's in the way. Wolf won't be there. Dragon doesn't matter. Baron's in. 23 minutes in.
They're all out safe too. They were able to get off Baron-empowered recalls and defend all waves here. Origen can come straight from the fountain. They didn't lose anything there. With that call, what a comeback play. All the teleports being used by SKT to get Dragon and classic xPeke and Soaz.
Classic Europe.
Classic EU. They're able to get the Baron in trade.
I thought this was going to be a clean 3-0, but Origen, not only did they dodge these early ganks from Bengi, they're the first team to get a tier 2 tower against SKT. They're the first team to lead at 20 minutes against SKT, and they're the first team to get a Baron against SKT. And what a Baron it was so early in the game. Clearly not ready for those Fnatic-esque type of Barons that we see so often in the EU LCS.
Ye have little faith, Crepo. I was telling you. It's not over yet, though. This is still an incredibly close game. Yes, Origen do have the Baron buff, and they have a strong siege right now, but Marin looking to flank. There are plenty of deep wards here from SKT as well.
So what kind of play can be made? Marin does have ulti, does have flash. He can get to his target.
Yes, I think that SKT might just opt to try and wave clear here.
Soaz has Zonius. He can peel. So can Alistar. Mithy has ult, flash, everything he needs. There is some poke coming through. Amazing is going for the flank play. Gets rid of a ward. Now he won't be spotted next time around. There's only one pink ward left in the SKT inventory. And mid lane 2-2 will go down. Niels is safe enough. He can turn it back. There we go. Turret goes down. Low health, though. Vamp Scepter's in. He can heal a bit.
Yeah, look at Marin immediately peeling off. This is generally what he likes doing, leaving his team as 4 to defend or either siege, peel off and start working on those side lanes. But Origen, they have a very group-heavy strategy this game, and they don't care about your side lanes because they're looking to siege.
right now, though.
You mentioned SKT in the right place at the right time, but Marin walks top lane only to recall right away. No teleport. Bot lane already getting hit here.
He's got home guards, though.
You can walk fast, but that turret still loses half its health, and Wolf and Bang getting chunked as well by Victor. Now Marin's in the fight, but this turret's at half. SKT make the wrong choice to even defend.
They just tried to 5-man defend mid, got it pushed down without being able to do anything, and make the same choice. Instead of keeping Marin pushing up top and trying to gain at least a little bit of map pressure back, we're seeing these very, very slight mistakes from SKT this game, and Origen are pulling it out beautifully.
Yeah, props to Origen for making SKT dance to their tune. This is one of the few games where an enemy team is actually controlling the pace of the game, telling SKT, no, you can't do that. You can't get away with pushing top lane because we will take your tier 2 tower in the bottom. And Origen, fantastic map play and completely unexpected if you looked at how we led up to this series.
As they said, they are not afraid of SKT. And I don't know about completely unexpected. Origen have done the sneaky Baron before.
Yeah, later in the game.
Yeah, well, you have to be, it just goes to show you have to be so careful against this team to leave at least one ward around the Baron area post 20, actually just post 20 minutes flat.
Yeah, period. Once it spawns.
SKT had 2 pink wards in that area that were up for pretty much the entirety of the game, so they were so comfortable with this vision. They were so comfortable playing and forcing teams to play 1-3-1 against them too, that no team really has been in the position to go for that Baron. Incredibly smart read in terms of gameplay, and honestly impressed by what Origen's bringing here on European soil.
So a 3,000 gold lead on European soil. Origen defying everyone but the online predictions there. We had like a 75% Twitter vote, so you guys know more than all of us analysts so far. Of course, it is still anybody's game. Of course, it's still close.
I was arguing against Cripple saying they would win a game.
Yeah. Now he comes out of the shadows. Told you they were going to take a game, Cripple.
Oh, man. Well, the third dragon of the game spawns in 40 seconds. It's 1 apiece right now, so all it means is turret damage for either side.
Also, fun fact, Cripple made a bet that if Origen win a game, he'll do a cartwheel for every game.
6 cartwheels coming up.
It will be video documented. Let's see if Origen can keep it up, though. They've only been able to eke out a 3,000 gold lead. SKT have come back from more this year.
All right, Marin putting pressure in the top lane again. Niels, he ran down the mid lane. Now he has to go to red buff. He'll likely pick up that wave on top later. Just have to see if somebody gets picked off, because SKT have no hesitation whatsoever pulling the trigger, and they have a team composition that plays really well later in these teamfights with that Azir. So Origen, they will need a flank. So look for Soaz, or maybe even Mithy, or Amazing. Just somebody needs to get behind the SKT lineup, whether it's teleport or just simply walking there. That's the way OG want to play these fights.
Yeah, remember we were talking about how well-rounded this SKT lineup is. They can continue to have Marin split push. They have the Azir to try and knock Soaz back out of the fight as well.
Heals his zone.
PK does take some damage as well.
Has to burn Rocket Jump. Now he needs his team to peel him. 2,000 health on the Dragon. Smite goes over to SK Telecom. They got it. A big ulti for Amazing. Wolf can always be peeled out. Nice jump over the wall. Niels loses his shield. Great stealing by Easyhoon. A great smite by Bengi.
Yeah, it's so hard to chase into an Azir. Right now, they all lose momentum in terms of mid lane. 2 Bang zoning them. Niels again forced to rocket jump. Now Mithy stuck on the other side. He is in flanking position. Should he go around? xPeke is on the bottom side of your screen too. xPeke.
Nice bit of damage. Ulti pop. Easyhoon down to half HP.
He's got the Rylai slow.
So he slowed a few of them, but Bengi and Co can still jump over walls. All they can do is make SKT go the wrong direction. Now, can Origen get enough down the mid lane? SKT will be late. Will the inhibitor turret take enough damage?
Marin's already recalled.
Soaz is up top lane already, but he has teleport.
Yeah, the goal right now is not seeding that tower, it's just locking SKT in base and denying as much vision being placed as you can, because of 1 minute from now, that Baron is going to spawn.
Marin down to half. You can see Niels can kill that guy in about 7 auto attacks. That doesn't take very long. Tristana's got plenty of attacks at this point in the game.
Vision is a very key point right now as the map has gone dark with so much fighting and pushing minion waves here.
Baron's up at 45 seconds.
Of Origen Vision has timed out.
Soaz has to be careful. He can't go for the next wave because he doesn't know where Marin is, so he's hovering around, protecting himself.
Well, they can at least math out the movement speed of the champions. They can get to the top jungle pretty soon, though. No vision really for either team. It's SKT who does it first on this side of the map. Dragon's gone for a long time. It's just Baron to play around.
And keep track of the completed items, because while Origen do have this fairly sizable gold lead for the mid game, decent gold lead for the mid game, it's about the 3 item completions here on both Azir and Kalista for SKT. The carry is still very popular.
Big chunk of damage. Amazing puts the ulti in for the shield and flashes over the wall. Almost dies, and Easyhoon gets it. Mithy shows up for some damage. Another knockup goes in towards xPeke. Wolf taking a lot of damage, flashes out. Big damage, saved. And here comes Marin. He wants Soaz for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but the slicing maelstrom buying a lot of time. 1 for 1 in this fight. Mithy gets a knockup onto Bang, and look at the damage output. Bengi's next. Here comes Niels. Summoner heal for movement speed, but he can't land the attack. Not just yet. He gets it. He gets the kill. Origen win the fight 3-1.
And Easyhoon is still cornered in Origen territory. They haven't seen him exit though.
But there's enough time to knock this one down. It's only Marin and Easyhoon alive. Marin has home guard and he's recalling, but this turret will already go down. Now here comes Marin. Easyhoon survives with the shield, with the turret for himself. Marin now in a 1v2.
Mithy's got to be careful. He doesn't have ultimate, and Marin can take him down very quickly.
Good damage done on Niels. Pops the W. Here comes Shen. Here's the ulti. Easy first pickup. Meanwhile, Amazing did pick off Easyhoon. A 1 for 1, and the inhib stayed alive.
Yeah, second misclick on that pulverize from Mithy, showing some...
Don't calm down yet. Baron is active here, guys.
All right, Baron's active, guys. He reposted it, though. He wouldn't have done anything with that pulverize at all. He should have headbutted, waited, seen it come out, gone for something else later. Neil zoned out. He should have rocket jump. He does. Marin does not have the move speed to chase this.
All 4 teleports are ready. There's True Sight on Baron right now, and SKT making their way.
Most of the team is here. It's already pink warded. There is a green ward from Origen. They know of this. Amazing does not yet have ulti. Marin has teleport, but can be stopped by Niels. Amazing in the wing, spotted by a pink ward.
Niels should cancel, get out of the equation. One extra teleport.
Amazing has no flash.
Amazing caught, Amazing taunted, jumps over the wall from Bengi. Easy pickup here, but it will delay Baron, at least for now. But here comes Marin. He finds xPeke. A beautiful repose, stops the headbutt, and Mithy was stunned, so he couldn't pulverize. Ults for himself now. Marin's still in the chase. Here comes some damage from Niels, but the support might be going down. It's a big chunk of damage. Marin barely survives. And 3 more kills with SKT. Now Soaz is in. A beautiful taunt by Wolf. The re-engage. 1 kill picked up. Niels again in the chase, but he can't find Marin. Jump over the wall by Wolf. Soaz does not aggro Baron. He could have. He aimed for the Shen, doesn't kill him.
All right, now you can calm down for a little bit. What do you got, Krepo?
Bot lane's open and Soaz could TP. There's more you could do.
No, we're calming down right now. I just want to talk about how this started. Really good vision control by SKT. Double pink. We're forcing Amazing to face check. Then the outplay. Flash at the right time. Easyhoon still picks him up, but Niels in that fight, that was just phenomenal. He went left, right, up and down. He was not afraid to flash into the fight, dash into the fight to get a potential reset, and his team played around him. So really, really good. Yeah, just positioning.
I believe it's up,
from
down, left, right.
Yeah. No cheating in League of Legends.
Half of it. 2 up.
With all of that, though, remember, the vision point that we keep bringing up, it's SKT constantly leaving wards deep on Origen territory, and the True Sight around Baron still stands.
It's been SKT overextending and going for 2 greedy plays, though they start Baron right now.
Niels is in base, though.
This one's good, exactly. Niels is gone. Scuttler or not, it doesn't matter. Soaz looks for it. Doesn't get it. Good rend by Bang. SKT secure the Baron. They're down 1,500 gold right now. They could easily make this up.
SKT have had some of the biggest Baron power plays of any team here at Worlds. Let's see if it will be as effective as the Origen power play.
Yeah, it's 6 out of their 9 games. They finished the game with the Baron buff still present. So they went from first Baron to smashing the Nexus. Well,
yeah, they've only needed more than 1 Baron in 1 game here at Worlds.
With which they smashed the Nexus with that second buff. So,
well, Origen making a invasive play here into SKT territory.
Amazing spotted by a ward, feels safe even without flash. Niels, of course, is right behind him. Going for a second BF sword at him, actually. Niels not going for Last Whisper.
This dragon isn't that important. Nobody should lose their lives over it.
Look at the flying still. Marin is immediately engaging Niels if he can get out of here. Collapse on the left side.
Here comes the rest of the team. Amazing could get jumped on. The re-engage towards Dragon. Easy pickup. That's number 3 for SKT. Here comes Soaz. He's got his Zonya's Hourglass. He pops it. Death Cap means plenty of damage, but here comes the re-engage. Nice ulti by Azir to buy some more time. SKT get out clean.
If SKT hesitated any longer on the engage, they were about to be flying from both sides. Soaz at one, Mithy at the other, but just Origen really couldn't do. Yeah, close the pincer right there. If you can close that in time while SKT greets for the dragon, that could be a game-winning team fight.
That was that 1 second time difference when both pincers have to close at the same time. Crabman Crepo.
It's like Origen's trying to play Quap as a crab instead of as a distance runner.
Let's look at their siege straight up mid here with Baron buff, with Azir. Secondary turret's very difficult to defend against Baron buff.
One more turret shot. That minion's going to be gone, but it doesn't matter. So much damage by SKT. Now they're back ahead in gold. Turret score still -2, but they've got the turret damage and the movement speed dragon buffs that Origen does not have.
Well, SKT is usually a team that has phenomenal vision control. They just need more pink wards. And then Amazing, you just need to get behind enemy lines somehow, get unspotted, dodge those pink wards, because that is the factor that limits SKT in a lot of their movements, because they just simply don't know where Amazing is.
xPeke can at least get rid of Marin for a little while, and of course can match teleports. Niels in the wing, sees Bengi's there.
That being said, Amazing by himself flanking is almost nothing. It's not that scary to SKT. Because their comp is so well-rounded, they have so many ways to protect Bang and Easyhoon. It has to be a double flank with Soaz, but Soaz is going down to Marin.
Zonya's pop-up. Marin gets the easy shutdown. Doesn't have teleport, but doesn't matter. The solo kill is the important thing. A 4v4 in the bot lane. Meanwhile, top lane is getting decimated. Easy turret picked up. SKT are safe. Bot lane tier 2, of course, also going to be going down. So, once they had Baron, SKT have gotten a kill, a dragon, and 3 turrets. And they're looking for more.
Yeah, you're fine almost holding that 44 in the bottom, and then suddenly your top laner drops 1v1 in the base. You just go in full recovery position, and you just try to lose maybe max 1 inhibitor. It's so incredibly hard to play against SKT with the siege from Azir, the split push from Marin there and after Fiora, and then have somebody drop. That's honestly a mistake from Soaz, just overextending.
The multiple threats there is too much to deal with. There's nobody on Origen that can handle the split pushing Fiora at this point.
They did thwart the inhibitor pressure, still alive. They dropped a tier 3 tower there in the top lane, but if they can push out, get control of the map, maybe set up for a team fight again. Let's see what Soaz is doing.
He's in his own base. Just Marin does so much damage.
A perfect repost too. Just, It's greedy. You can't. There's no reason to do that as Soaz, because at best you're gonna poke a champion that has a lot of lifesteal built in already. So it's a play that can only make you lose.
Kennan's all about the team fight here. Wants to get in the 5-on-5 for Origen to try and force something on the main group of SKT. But again, the Azir ultimate can knock him back out. Kalista can stall him.
Easyhoon does so much damage now. Abyssal Scepter in, Death Cap, the most recent addition. Void Staff probably next. And Easyhoon is definitely a threat. 412 minion kills, highest in the game by a lot.
So comfortable on that champion. And again, the SKT vision is all throughout both quadrants of Origen's jungle, deep even inside the base.
It's just becoming a race right now for either on one side Niels with the help of xPeke to burn through the front line and just get the resets going, and Easyhoon to just whack away with his soldiers and kill everybody else, and then eventually they'll meet, and Niels will need some big crits to really win that fight, because Easyhoon is so much damage right now.
There's already Bengi kind of cutting off one of the moves here. He's totally comfortable this far up in the lane. Plenty tanky on this Jarvan.
The way that SKT push and prod you in all 3 lanes at once. Marin is just so good at staying safe in the side lane on Fiora. That's why he always ends up with this giant experience lead and gold lead over the enemy top laner.
No hidden deep wards and no home guard teleport here on Soaz. That is the counterplay to this repetitive sieging. You just put a ward behind them.
Well, there are
out.
a couple wards here. If SKT push up all the way to the inhibitor turrets on either mid or bottom side, he has options.
But of course, Marin is not even against a turret here, and we saw him kill Soaz inside the base earlier, so that is an easy lever for Marin to pull. And SKT have a very lopsided top side of the map.
Silver line there for Origen is that, yes, Marin has this experience advantage. Hey, he capped out already, though. He's at 18, can't get any higher.
They run out soon enough.
It's a really nice way to look at your opponent's level 18. Oh dear.
Ah, you capped yourself too early.
I don't know if that really
that's
works.
not actually. That's not actually a good.
I don't think peeking too early works in this case, but the game is stalled out once more. Baron has ended for a while.
40 seconds only, though. The vision war is very real right now.
And of course, SKT, this is Dragon 4 for them, so they're 6.5 minutes away from a potentially game-winning buff. They want to play it really slowly. Not that they have to, of course.
If they clump up, though, there's so much AoE damage coming out of Soaz on that cannon, the Victor there for xPeke. If any of them provide just enough damage to get a reset and the explosive charge explodes in that fight too from Niels, that's an instant whitewash, instant ace. So you have to be incredibly careful when they do group up to get these objectives.
All right, Marin on the bottom side. He does have teleport, as do Peke and Soaz.
They're collapsing on him right now.
Could be one of them.
Origen are late on the party towards the Baron, though. Soaz has to pop Zonius to get away.
Oh, and ultimate. SKT can
And
take
there's
this
the
Baron
push.
then.
There's the knock. He gets 2. Here's the teleport to save the team, but amazing. Taking so much damage. He's the first casualty. Bengi could be next. It will be a trade. Niels is okay, and he gets his knockup kind of canceled there. And now Wolf in the front lines, but it's already 1 kill picked up. Soaz can't find anyone to hit. Slowed down by the Azir wall, I believe. And meanwhile,
Marin's hitting the base.
Marin is hitting the base, so Peke must recall. But SKT could try to stop. They will not. It will be the inhibitor going down, and they're re-engaged towards Baron. Origen get neither going their way.
Pulled apart here. Expert use of the more powerful split pusher there by SKT.
At the same time, an incredibly unlucky flash hit from Soaz. Goes over the wall and he gets clipped by one of the remaining soldiers from Easyhoon's ultimate, and he just trying to get there. Nope, couldn't get into that team fight with his ultimate. And at that point, yeah, Marin takes the inhib, and the Baron goes down.
And it feels like part of this game is collapsing now for Origen. They had the chance of trying to surround Marin, killing him. They had the chance of rushing down a very easy to kill Dragon 2 with a 5-item Tristana here. They choose none of them. They take lazy, slow recalls. SKT takes the entire map, and Origen are losing this game.
Easyhoon, fantastic ultimate though in that fight. Really good showing why Azir is considered such a good late game teamfight champion. Completely pushes Peke and Niels out of the fight with no way to re-engage because you can't jump over that wall because you'll just get bounced back again. And then SKT's in full control because again, they're split pushing 4-1. Marin so often peels off and does his own thing and tells his team to just stay quiet, just do whatever you guys are doing. Don't concede that objective. Play with the necessary amount of respect, and he takes down bottom inhib.
And don't forget how SKT built even the very beginning of this game with so much of Bengi's early attention up top, helping Marin get the lead on Soaz. Here comes the flank, though. This is their shot.
Marin does have teleport. And the Azir turret is down. This is the chance for Origen to make a move. Amazing spotted on his flank. Bengi now to zone out Mithy. He's got to be careful. And this Alistair could get caught out. No one goes for the taunt.
No one can deal with Marin, though. I mean, Soaz is up here looking at him, but he's still taking chunks out of the inhibitor.
Stun. Peke could land a slow. Another slow lands as Marin is at half HP. Now the push in. Whoa! Niels has to pop Quicksilver Sash to remove the slow to run away. Mithy just trying to clear a few minions. They've got to get this Tristana to heal up quickly. Marin, meanwhile, has plenty of lifesteal, can get himself back to safety on this Fiora. Soaz losing health. Mid lane under fire. Should be an easy pickup there. Blue Elixir even there for more structured damage. Amazing gets caught. Dies during the knockup. Bang is on a rampage. And inhibitor number 2 and inhibitor number 3 going to be going down. Wolf and Bengi in pursuit. Peke goes down. The fight resumes 3v5. Soaz can't even kill off Easyhoon. He's got more shields than health bars. And everyone's dying. Niels the only man alive. This will be the game. SK Telecom T1 are undefeated still in the World Championship. And they're 1 game of 3 in the way to the finals.
Undefeated still, but Origen made it further than any other team has here at World against SKT.
Couple things still held true. SKT finished the game with a Baron buff, took them a couple more this time. Very long game, 43 minutes, 29 seconds, more down like Origen's alley. So definitely gave SKT a run for their money. And this roster, I believe 4 out of 5 from SKT T1S back in the day. Actually ending up here looking poised, yeah, to go undefeated at Worlds.
Your cartwheeling days.
Nope.
Not yet.
Not
Redbo,
yet.
Not yet.
Well, I think certainly the Origen put up, as you guys are mentioning, a much better fight than expected. Not only just the fact that the game went late, but the fact that Origen had a lead, and a decent one early on into the game. This was not the Origen we were seeing at the World Championship. The team that, despite being top 4, was still averaging gold deficits in the first 25 minutes of the game, but this was the Origen actually doing well early on, finding good matchups, making different plays in the lane swap. Oh, give the gold to Tristana for a pickaxe recall to get a good 2v2. Oh, you have to force bang out of lane early because the item disadvantage is so great. These are things that did matter, that did blow up part of the gold lead. The side lane pushing was good for Origen.
They also made their biggest swing in the mid game off of the Baron trade for Dragon, which they are probably not going to be able to get again. SKT, there are many things that Como will be talking to the players about after that game, and vision around the Baron post 20 minutes is probably going to be one of them.
You could already see the shifted priority on that Baron vision after that first one went down. The amount of picks that Origen almost walked into on SKT side, just trying to get that vision back. Double pink ward there every time. Defended a lot more. SKT wasn't playing as 1-3-1 heavy as they usually have. They were actually playing a pretty heavy 4-1, just 4 members around that Baron area with Marin continuously showing us why Fiora is becoming one of the best top picks in the game right now.
It's a champion we might see banned away in game 2, but we're going to talk about game 1 a little bit more with the analyst desk. So we're going to send it down to Dash and Crew. Coverage of the
...2015 World Semifinals where SKT
스노우볼을 좀 굴려가면 운영을 하기 전에 이길 수 있을 것 같습니다.
Well, it was interesting. He talks about the fact that, we think we can win before they start making those plays, but it was actually Origen that actually started out with a strong early game, and it was SKT making really clutch plays at the end of the game that got them back in.
Yeah, the two main things, the two factors that really led to that comeback for SKT, the huge split pushing threat of Fiora. Marin's been great on this champion. Yep. And then obviously Easyhoon on the Azir, classic champion for him. The late game so secure with that.
At the same time, we can pull into question Amazing's pathing and just how he wasn't helping Soaz that often, because he made a phenomenal outplay. Juking that flash, then going to the brush and teleporting out. But all intents and purposes, Soaz should have been dead right there. That should have been a snowballing Marin in the laning phase, and that could have been the defining matchup that early in the game already, and Amazing couldn't get as much done at the other side of the
And I like that point with a small tweak of actually not going to help Soaz, but making the play on the bottom side of the map. There were multiple times where Amazing was on the bottom side of the map while Soaz was taking up the time of multiple members, and he wasn't able to punish Bang and Wolf, who were in the extended lane.
So now we get to see what adaptations are made as we get ourselves into the game. Back in game 1, SKT blue side of those 100% pick ban champions of Gangplank Mordekaiser. I guess Mordekaiser actually more like 97%. He went by once, but now Origen making some swaps. They're figuring out what SKT wanted to play. Now they're doing some very specific bans. The Azir is already away from Easyhoon. They retain the Lulu ban here, and we can see that junglers are not pinched yet.
Could see a Rek'Sai ban here from Origen and then going for the Elise first pick. That is one of the strategies you can do, or just leave them all open and get the Kalista on your side.
I think we may see the TF come to prominence again as well here. Easyhoon's Azir is banned out though.
I would almost rather ban Fiora and then leave, you know, all 3 of them up and try to get the right sort of pinch going. Because if Rek'Sai and Elise are both up, you can just trade 1 for 1. It's not that bad.
I would rather see a Riven locked in to play against Fiora, just because I love that skill matchup and it's so snowbally.
The question is Soaz good enough to handle Marin in that matchup, though? Marin has been absolutely ridiculously good this tournament so far. And do you trust Soaz to win the 1v1?
If you
in a matchup, he has to win the
Is it a 1v1 though?
Well, exactly.
Sure,
you have to. If you see a Fiora Riven matchup, you send you send everybody you can to influence it.
Well,
all right. There's
Rek'Sai up, but this of course allows a trade of other champions. The Tahm Kench is available.
This has to be a Rek'Sai first pick.
Wasn't even picked last game.
It was banned.
Right.
If I remember properly.
Hey,
so.
you're both right. No.
Hey, look at us. All of us putting our stats into
I don't
work
think
here.
it was banned, but
maybe I'm wrong then. Maybe it wasn't blue side banned and I'm just silly. Well, either way, the Rek'Sai first pick did come through. There is the Tahm Kench.
Maybe it was.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Either way, you were right that it wasn't picked. So 100% Kobe is correct.
So remember though, Thresh does a very similar thing, or Origen will use Thresh in a very similar manner. Well, they'll have Mithy trail on the side lanes that are split pushing, use the Lantern for a long range save of someone who's trying to control minion waves.
And if this Orianna gets locked in, I wonder why exactly the Elise ban came through from SKT. The only sort of OP they got from this trade was the Tahm Kench.
It probably just got to a point where they're comfortable playing any jungler into Rek'Sai, and they think that matchup disparity just is smaller than playing anything into Elise, because SKT have shown to love Elise. 5 first picks in 5 blue side games leading up to this game all have been on
Every
on
jungler
Elise.
in the world is Elise is the top tier right now. So like you don't want to play into that.
Yeah, the question is
playing
the Delta,
into
right?
Playing into Rek'Sai is much more of a generalist. She is strong, does have a slight advantage.
I'm not debating the strength.
Most other ones.
It's the delta between Rek'Sai Elise and then Rek'Sai next.
Exactly. And I
SKT decides that the Rek'Sai next delta is not as big. That's what it comes down to, and they decided that Tahm Kench is worth picking up first round. The Orianna, though, blind pick is very atypical. SKT have never, I believe, first round blue sided a mid laner. No? Or red side, rather.
Easyhoon unafraid.
Origen to make their choice. Though the dual lane locked in here, Tristana picked up quite quickly.
Just want to get more feel of what Origen's going to bring to the table so they can cater their jungle pick, because now you have to go into, instead of like these generic junglers that work in every situation, you may want to get something very specific for this matchup.
And you have to look at the whole team comp as well. With Tahm Kench and Orianna locked in really early, it looks like a very defensive lineup coming out of the bat here. But Sivir being locked in to boost the speed here of the entire team. And we'll have another look at Bengi's Jarvan.
Well, that's interesting, actually, the fact that Sivir got grabbed, because normally we saw Tahm Kench do as well with a Jinx, right?
Yeah.
Protecting a hyper carry.
The hyper carry here is not the AD carry, it is Marin just on a top lane. This is, instead of a Jugger Jinx, Jugger Sivir composition, may just become like a
Jugger Fiora.
A Jugger Fiora composition where your entire lineup revolves around facilitating that top laner. A lot of the strong top laners in this matchup, in this meta rather, have weaknesses in terms of mobility. Well, that's solved. They can fall low in fights. That's solved, and you have an Orianna for these team fights later on.
Also, may I say, the Kenshi is actually a big threat in himself, and speed boosting up Tahm Kench is very scary. Tahm Kench only needs like 3 stats: health, speed, and you can throw in some resistances and cooldown reduction.
It's basically
and he's good to go.
Speed of spells, cooldown reduction, great, more health and speed. Well, last few picks here for Origen. Will they go back to this Victor for xPeke? He played a ton of Anivia last week. Looks like he's back to the Victor here. The Fiora will get grabbed up by Origen. No, it does go back to the Anivia. So, 2 major carries, a nice backline. Anivia can do plenty.
Baby.
And now SKT say, all right, well.
So I do like this preemptive sort of attempt at a counter of a top lane melee carry from SKT, locking in the Anivia and Morgana. You can do a decent amount to hinder the movements there of whatever top lane carry, but it looks like just an more early game focused, sort of base damage oriented SKT.
This is what Marin wanted to do. This is the counter pick that someday had prepared against
That's risky though.
two Tigers, and it didn't work out. Now the Renekton does come through, so it's not quite the Riven versus Fiora matchup, but it is Renekton.
Not even close.
Fiora.
I feel like
It starts with the same letter.
Completely different.
You do AoE with pressing Q. I mean, this is the same flavor of champion in a lot of ways.
Origen with another composition that they've run a lot before, where they just have incredibly slow game pace. They want to get that Nivea rolling, and then later in the game, they can start kiting in the team fights in the mid game. That's what they use the wall for, the bindings, the black shield, and then in the late game, once they start sieging, this is an incredibly hard to defend against siege composition because later, like I'm talking 35 plus minutes, wall on one side, ulti on the other, and Tristana only needs 5 seconds to get your tower. So Origen with some tricky team fights here, but if SKT can close the gap, catch xPeke with a single CC, the fight can turn, and they do have the tools to do that.
Yeah, and I feel like SKT do have an early game oriented advantage as well here versus Origen. Nivea takes quite a while to scale up there. And Renekton right out of the gate is going to be huge. To your point, Freak, the one real big similarity there is the riposte versus the stun that's hard to see. Renekton's stun is not telegraphed very much either, much like Riven's. So that is the really difficult part of this skill matchup.
You have to guess. You have to guess when the stun comes out.
And it's the really entertaining part, because then you get into the mind games of how early are you going to throw it out. Because after you throw a post, if you don't hit it, Renekton will punish you severely.
He will punish you. So we'll see if that punishment happens, guys. And you can let us know if you think it will as well. As always, tweet at LOL Esports, hashtag SKT win or hashtag OG win based on which team you think is going to take this one home. But right now, SK Telecom T1, 10-0 in the World Championship. They're going for win number 11. Origen want to win this one, make it 1-1.
Yeah, and then just an interesting matchup in the bottom lane too. Tristana playing against a Spell Shield, playing against the Tahm Kench. Devour can deny the explosive charge from doing damage if you're in Tahm Kench's belly. But at the other side of that matchup, you have Black Shield, and Tahm Kench only gets online once you get 3 stacks. That's when you get a super easy Black Shield to deny any of the effects, Devour or Tongue Lash. So
meanwhile, we have lots of champions toward the top side of the map here. Morgana moving in for the Tri-Bush binding. He can throw it blind.
Oh, wow. Marin walks forward. That would have been a flash down. And maybe even a kill if Peke landed Q.
All right, round 2, boys.
Marin's a genius.
Whoa.
Faked him out.
Well, they actually kind of have Wolf and Bang, but
is the cooldown back up though?
binding is going to hit Wolf. They're going to land the stun for Nivea as well. Marin buys some time, and SKT walk away. No summoners lost.
No counter wards though. There's nobody infiltrating Origen's jungle. So right now, Origen is the team getting deep vision. Marin moving in again.
They land the bind into Mithy. Oh, and the stun lands. Exhaust is there. There's a flash by Marin, but it's not going to be enough. He will go down. Niels is going to get it. First blood to Origen. What a level 1.
And this is why I love Niels. Any other player would finish him off with a hit. Niels knows it's going to happen anyway, so he starts taunting Marin. Just hashtag just tilted boys.
I would have liked to see the flare as well, but
can't do that.
That's just bonus points.
Well, for the second time ever in the entire month of October, SKT have given up first blood in professional play. And now we're going to start with another aggressive jungle invade by the OG squad.
Looks like they're going to find the top lane up top for the 2v2 as well. Can Mithy stop the Krug though? Because Tristana did get the first blood, but it looks like they've gotten away. Oh!
Hits Wolf though.
With the Krug there for SKT duo lane.
But it's a matched lane with Wolf incredibly low and the rest of his team nearby.
And more importantly, you have a potion advantage. 3 potions here on Niels picked up in addition to that longsword, because yeah, he flashed for that kill. He needs to get level 2 so he gets a jump.
Binding hits Bang,
goes
wow.
shield, but damage
hit Wolf.
You gotta wait with that with that Devour too. You can't do it too early, because then once you throw him out, it will still do damage. So perfect timing there from Wolf. And good aggressive play from Mithy.
And looking for the knockup there, Amazing has the red buff. Of course, everyone knows where those guys started.
Amazing showing in mid lane here, though, as he crosses from red to red. So Bengi knows that he has nothing left in the upper quadrant because his duo started the Krugs, and he saw Amazing go across. So let's take an eye on, keep an eye on Bengi here to see how he reacts. This is one of the most difficult points for a jungler, when you know you've been counter-jungled on one side, and you know that the enemy team knows it as well, and they're going to be defending against it. You might make a beeline to try and take away Origen's blue side, but that's so risky since his top lane is getting bullied here by Niels and Mithy.
Yeah, if he wants to go for that play, he needs Easyhoon pushing in the mid lane because Niels and Mithy pushing in the top lane. That could be a 3-man collapse there on that blue buff, setting him so far behind. xPeke is showing. He's a good Nivea player, queuing at the same time.
The other thing that you can do is level 3, Jarvan. He can go for a gank. He has all the abilities necessary here.
No flash on Niels, remember that. Black Shield just went down, so he's down for another 10 seconds.
Niels does have a rocket jump. Bind on Wolf, has to pop thick skin. And all as well, but Bengi's still around. Looks for the knock up onto Easyhoon. He's going to flash away. And now comes the attempt for Bengi. Won't find a thing.
Amazing should be getting really far ahead right now.
OG knows this is coming. If Wolf walks up on this amount of health, just in the lane like that, going for a trade, you know you're about to get ganked. So Origen playing the necessary amount of respect. And yeah, SK trying to brute force a gank here for their bot lane, something they generally don't really do. They play around Marin.
Interesting. Amazing actually showing himself, giving up more information mid, but Bengi takes that opportunity. He places a ward on the blue buff, and he has Smite available. You can go for that really tricky Smite steal, but oh, he already stole it. Nope, that was his that timed out. All right, he's just going to leave him, and they just track Amazing. So Amazing is getting that lead I was looking for.
Bengi just spent all that time literally
hit to try and get into SKT territory here. He hasn't gone back to base though, so he has no wards, he has no jungle upgrade for his Smite, and he can't get much done. What you need to do though, he's got this lead on Bengi, he's going to try and keep him down. Bengi's going to head bottom lane though.
Yeah, adaptation in this matchup to Niels using the explosive charge on very low HP minions to add 1 bonus damage to it, then proc the minion death for an instant AoE poke, because he knows if he uses it straight on Sivir, it will be spell shielded or devoured, so it can't use that, but bang with the reaction, good spell shield. So seeing some experience in this matchup already.
So Beng has actually been spell shielding even just regular minion death ease, which is interesting for him, so he's getting a lot of mana that way. But actually, the way the abilities work though, one gets spell shielded, the other still deals damage. So Beng trying to make that play, Niels plays around it by actually having both spells hit at the same time, still takes damage on the Beng.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Marin is eking out that CS lead versus Soaz, and Renekton getting to level 6 first. Very scary in that matchup. So that's why we're seeing Soaz play so defensively down bottom now. You have to respect the all-in.
All right, well, Peke's still pushing Easyhoon in. Shockwave will not quite put him in a turret range though. Ulti traded. Easyhoon low on health. Peke though out of mana now. He's gonna have to recall.
Yeah, he's gonna need some help shoving that wave.
He literally can't even shove it himself. Marin is on the way, but was spotted by Amazing's Tremor Sense, but they didn't realize that there's the flash. Oh! Marin was still dashing. He couldn't land the auto attack to knock down Peke.
Yeah, too fast and not enough.
You almost knocked down Crepo there. He was so scared by that.
Too fast, but not quite furious there. With that gank. He really didn't have the flash. He just EW would have been the correct play right there. Peke getting away with his life right there. But overall, both teams collapsing in the mid lane. This is something we've seen very often in EU LCS from Origen. Mithy pathing mid, dropping a pink ward for xPeke on one side, then Amazing or xPeke will place another pink on the other side, and it becomes impossible to gank Peke.
It's so necessary since his flash is down, and Nivea, the slowest champion.
Can't capitalize on that bind. Peke is stuck here. Really wants to push.
He denied it a couple. Yeah, 1 minute.
We're 15 gold for that bind, you know. Wonderful stuff there. Peke, though, still not recalling. He's sitting right now on 1,900 gold, so Catalyst here is waiting in the base for him right now if he wants to pick those up as his build. Still just sticking into this wave. Mithy, Black Shield to get through the lane. Niels level 6 right now as the lane swap back to the bot side. Peke loses the recall, but there's no flash for Easyhoon. No, take it back. It's back up already. I expected it to be down, but it's already back.
Yeah, Bang and Wolf, they did a thing. Even CS being down this many potions and some experience early, getting like those Krugs early. Now they're actually winning these trades. They stayed even on CS, BF against BF, even though they were laning against triple potion and a longsword in a double range matchup. Honestly, fantastic performance from them to keep that CS even and just nullify whatever advantage OT had in that 2v2.
Keep an eye on the wards. Oh, the ward's in the side brush.
All right. Oh, Summoner Teleport canceled, though. Looks like Peke did not want to go after all.
If you want to pull that off, you have to wait for the commitment in an engage down bottom, though. You're never just going to
randomly teleport.
Yeah, randomly teleport it to start it out. A binding has to land, or Tom Kench has to go all in.
Great pickup by Wolf. Here comes Bengi. Mithy's in a really bad spot. Does not have flash. Does not have anywhere to go. Okay, Niels can live, but it's still a 1-for-0. Great pickup by SKT.
Miscommunication on the teleport, and then great gank there by Bengi. Let's see what else they can get off of it.
A lot of control on the bottom side. Actually, Niels about to be surrounded here. Look how far up Bengi is. Ulti forced just to stay alive.
They're going to get the tower lead off of that as well.
Nice play by Marin. Baits out the riposte. You can see plus 14 minions already. Soaz getting behind in the matchup.
And this is what Marin was talking about in that interview, is like, we don't need to allow them to make those macro level gameplay shot calling victory moments there on Origen side. We simply want to outlane them. SKT right now 1.4k ahead. Again, another early tower here and taking a dragon to boot. And that's what we expected from Origen, just playing slow, steady, farm up for late game. But a team as smart as SKT will punish you for that eventually.
And look how quick they're even playing. Land the smite, walk back to mid lane, let Sivir finish it off, make sure these waves are under control. And look at this, amazing. Stalking Marin through the jungle. Marin had ulted to hold mid lane, I believe.
Looks like they are prepping for the dive as they send Mithy up as well.
Turret's plenty healthy though. Summoner teleport up for Easyhoon. He can defend
Down
Marin here. No ulti on Marin. Amazing will pull aggro. Here comes the teleports. Here comes a ton of damage. Holy cow, he's already gone. Amazing. Does flash to get away. The heal helps a bit. And Easyhoon did cancel the teleport.
Yeah, so both mid laners failing teleports on side lanes here, and it is equalized. But the big rotation from SKT, they were already in transit with the duo lane, so the tower doesn't go down afterwards. SKT hold on to their objective lead, and Soaz has to...
He has flash though. A nice black shield stops the knockup, so it doesn't even have to flash away. There's no chance to kill him. There's not enough magic damage in the kit to break the black shield.
Yeah, good play there for Origen, just preserving the flash on Soaz, relying on the black shield against the Tom Kench. And it was actually xPeke that cancelled Easyhoon's teleport in the mid lane. He got stunned out of that because signature move, you're gonna dive top. Well, xPeke, all he has to do is find the Hoon, stop his teleport, because he himself can't follow.
Yeah, not that big a deal. I think Easyhoon wouldn't have been able to get much done up there, but the blue steal is very important against Anivia, denying that resource from Peke in the mid lane. He does get the shove into lane and might be able to wall off Easyhoon from one minion wave, though.
It is good against Anivia, but let's not forget Peke.
Whoa,
this here.
Nice play though. Force the flash, still lands a stun. Amazing. Oh no.
No.
Overextends. He's missing flash. Soaz gets some damage in, and all is well. Nothing too bad picked up. But now look at the bottom side. Soaz has teleport. Marin once again being attacked. Here comes the aggro. Wow, a big minion chunk gone. And Mithy had aggro. A nice double slice and dice. More slows in for the team, and they just keep stacking everything in. But Wolf is here for the save. Soaz maybe went a little bit too far. All is well. Man saved. Peke meanwhile turned into an egg, and the push comes in. Oh! But Amazing is here. The two-man knockup trades onto Bang. Mid laner for AD carry. And Amazing still in the chase, but no one's around to make this still happen.
Mithy are heading up, but fairly far away still.
Amazing taking more damage than he probably needed to.
The unburrowed range turf right there.
I think it might have still been on the cooldown.
I believe the timer was timed out.
Well, meanwhile, though, Marin back to the bottom lane. Wolf was nearby this time around, though. They know to hide back. Soaz will not find the dive. Meanwhile, top lane just has waves and waves crashing into the turret, suiciding me. Here comes the push towards the backside. Can they find Easyhoon? No.
Well, they found him. He's in the mid lane.
He's in Kench's belly.
In the mid lane.
Yeah, really, really good dives here set up by Origen. Good execution for Marin to make it out of there alive. Really, really playing in front of the tower and then double dashing his way out of there. Just in time for Wolf. They did deny the blue buff on xPeke. Let's see why he went down. Bang being MIA. I really think that xPeke's egg.
Yeah. So if Peke was willing to flash, he needed to flash shockwave. So just a great pickup there by Easyhoon. And okay, that re-engaged him on a great play by Amazing. So he's getting a much better game than he was in game one.
Something we've seen from Origen overall, though, where they're setting up a really solid play at one side of the map, and they're just simply not respecting the other side of the map enough.
Wolf and Bang have made very, very quick recalls to swap between lanes, and the Tom Kench has already saved many alive.
All said and done, the Origen are up 1 kill total right now. And the mind game of when will Riposte come out continues to evolve. So as this time didn't even press it, and Marin didn't even try to stun. Fun to watch them go back and forth with mind games there. Another giant lead for Marin.
Another interesting point about Marin is that the champions he's been selecting, Renekton and Fiora, over and over here at Worlds, are champions that build into Tiamat. Tiamat is such a crucial part of how SKT control minion waves. It's crucial to their game plan that Marin, as the captain and as the one who gets the experience lead early, is able to quickly clear the minion wave and then make his map movement afterwards to keep up the extra pressure that SKT try and work with. T-Map already completed here for him, and he has a huge CS lead to work with.
Better damage on a Wolf, but all is well. Bang had popped the ulti to keep the chase going. Easyhoon does have Shockwave, but Mithy is around with the chance of Black Shield. xPeke is out of mana, though. He can no longer slow anyone down. Dodges the tongue, all is well. Bot lane's getting pushed in, no one's holding it.
Scuttle crabs are very important, yes. So, 4 people mid for SKT. They're trying to trade bottom lane for mid lane pressure here. And with xPeke out of mana, I think they'll be able to make the trade.
Yeah, look at the hesitation from Niels. He tapped actually away from that bottom lane tower into the triangle, saw the pink ward, doesn't have time to kill it, now returns back to the bottom lane. And this is the key difference that we've seen in these teams. Incredibly decisive map movement from Origen overall, and SKT, they get away with murder here.
Yeah, that turret is the repercussions of stealing the blue buff. Niels sticks around bottom, doesn't get the turret, and has to make a move up the river.
And they might literally get murder then, as Niels is now beset by a bunch of champions. Rocket Jump comes in, not enough to knock down Bang. Great play by SKT.
Set, little bit of extra pressure, chain reaction. Starting 5 minutes ago when they steal the blue buff, continually attack mid to burn xPeke's mana, get him out of the mid lane, no wave clear, and they're able to get multiple objectives off of it while keeping all of their outer turrets up.
Yeah, and this is why this Tom Gensch pick fits so well in SKT's playstyle, and especially in this composition. You have a top laner that likes being alone 1v1 in the fight. You have a Sivir that is utility AD carry that likes split pushing waves, rotate quickly between lanes. Tom Gensch can show up behind these towers and really find yourself in positions where you usually don't expect to be ganked from. Really quick rotations, really quick pickoffs, and that's the way SKT likes to play. Open up the map, 1-3-1. Wolf, he's somewhere in the middle. Early game with Shen, that's what he wanted to do, defend against these picks. Now he wants to make them with the Abyssal Voyage.
And think about it, these champions all fit the same thematic, and in this game, SKT was willing to trade away that Rex side. And yes, Amazing's had a better game this time than in game 1, but look at what Wolf has done. He's saved multiple teammates now with the Devour. He's made at least one pick now with that ulti. And here we go again, easy dragon pickup for SKT and trade for top turret.
They still have time on Origen's side though. By no means is this gold lead that important. If you can keep it within the 2,000, 3,000 margin, you have Anivia with the incredibly well-scaling late game build, really good kiting champion later on scale, at least even with Bang. And then Fiora will most definitely outscale Renekton. So SKT, they're playing on a bit of a clock.
Anivia also is troublesome for Sivir as well, as far as AD carries go. So if xPeke can hold his own, he is keeping up in CS while giving up turret ground.
And it's a really late game scaling team, of course. Tristana, long-ranged, high auto-tech uptime, and Anivia stacking up both Tier and Rod of Ages, so a lot of room to grow. But with SKT being so good at closing out games, they are ahead. This is risky for Origen.
We'll have to see if Origen gets caught moving up for wave clear. That's generally how SKT gets the most kills at this point in the game. People moving up for wave clear. We see some pings on the map. Wolf in the river.
Here's the thing. Marin doesn't have TP, so they're committing to the split push Renekton top. He's going to try and burn down the turret. Meanwhile, xPeke actually moves over there to try and wave clear. So Origen should be able to get this bottom turret without reaction here really from SKT. Because xPeke switched over to top lane, though, mid lane does get a little bit of presence.
Marin doing what he actually usually does. He pushes up top, fakes the rotation to mid, then goes back top immediately. A lot of other teams will push up top, try and force something mid, realize it's not working, then move back. He already preemptively keeps moving in between his lanes and always ends up back on the solo lane, pushing, putting pressure.
And it's a strategy that's enabled by that early Tiamat that he always gets on these Tiamat-focused champions. You can annihilate the creep wave so quickly, then go into Fog of War, not give away any more information, keeps the enemy team guessing.
Schrodinger's crocodile.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it takes a bird with the eagle-eye vision going back and forth between these two lanes. xPeke has been back and forth, wave clearing top, then mid, then top, then mid. He might have to go back there again. Bot lane turret to go down at least.
And while we keep track of all these trades that SKT are making, the whole while they're purchasing wards while they go on these moves through Origen territory. Every time they make a map movement through the jungle here, they're dropping off wards as they do so that in the next 5 minutes of the game, the next 3 minutes, they get more information on the counter moves that Origen are trying to build.
Yeah, an incredibly slow and methodical approach here from SKT. They're not getting any objectives. Origen, they seem fine, just keep wave clearing at their tier 2 towers, just saying, well, we're trading gold evenly somewhat. But eventually, that's when the lights go out, when it becomes dark, when all your current wards fade away. That's when SKT makes the play in the Fog of War.
Origen are looking for that team. Now they're just trying to farm up. As we talked about, the scaling of Fiora, the scaling of Anivia.
Just get Baron wards. That's their only goal right now for Origen. Few wards far in between, just so they can figure out what SKT is doing and then pull back again and just try and make a pick, because SKT have overextended, just like Marin. He may be caught out here.
He's pretty far. Easyhoon does have teleport, but no one else is nearby. There's the ulti pop by Soaz, a flash by Marin to really get himself away. Summon a spell for ultimate.
I think Amazing sidestepped the slice, so he didn't proc the dice, and Marin was forced to flash there.
Yeah, when you gank Renekton, you never want to come from directly behind him, because it just enables his escape through the slice and dice. Always attack from the side.
Yeah, Marin wanted a double jump, but through Amazing's play, no dice. Great joke. Shut up.
I saw you set up for it.
Yeah.
So excited.
You just kept talking, delaying it, making the punchline worse and worse.
Well, look at this. SKT, they returned to 1-3-1, but they actually have Sivir in the bottom lane. A little bit more dangerous, so Bang is the one who has to retreat to Fog of War after trying to clear the minion wave.
Yeah, look at the difference, though, from Mithy and Wolf. Wolf's helping the strong side of the map here, defending that Baron vision. Mithy is just hovering around his AD carry Niels because he's afraid of a potential teleport, maybe Abyssal Voyage. They don't confide in Niels enough to be able to push that alone, so that means OG's playing the rest of the map 4 against 3.
They just saw Tom Kench on the Scuttle Crab by Baron, though, so they knew they had to have a few seconds to try and shove the wave. They rotated towards mid here, fishing for bindings at the turret.
So hard to siege into an Orido at this point in the game.
Posing a lot of threat to these champions, and Origen get 2 caster minions up there before... Oh, they're gone again. Easyhoon is totally safe in the mid lane.
I think we'll just see a lot of fussle around mid and bot lane, just trying to push that in and secure the dragon. That is probably what Origen is looking for. They don't really want to give up a 3rd dragon. SKT though,
Abyssal Voyage. Here comes Tom Kench, wall in the side, and here we go. Who's going to get picked up? Stun only hits Wolf. A great rocket jump plus Black Shield means nothing is gained.
That was actually very good communication on Origen. They didn't use all of their cooldowns. Soaz held onto his teleport. Pekka said, I have flash, don't worry, we're going to escape from this, continue pressing. And Origen actually have the minion wave advantage, all 3 on SKT's side.
And he's going to look for Marin right there. Gets one of the... Oh, and he perfectly times the riposte. He stops the stun while getting one himself. He's looking to chase Marin, but cannot land another one. A nice bind on the side, but they just don't have the damage to kill him off just yet.
Wolf is on the way.
Flicking around. Wolf can save. A nice knockup by Bengi. Amazing's in a really bad spot. Eaten up and taken away from his flash. That's a kill.
From Origen, that bind land, they could have killed Marin, but Amazing went in for the play while his Soaz and Mithy were already backing off, so really not on the same page there.
Meanwhile,
some disconnect.
Well, bot lane already pushed in. Bang was totally safe on that bot side. Gets rid of plenty of minion waves. You can see 188 minions on him. 2 item spike already there for the Sivir.
And let's watch this again. Soaz really good identifying that he's first to fight Marin here. He has the minions in case Marin wants to trade. He has his team coming up, and just keep your eyes on that binding from Mithy, if that's communicated or not, because Amazing really wants to go for this dive. This bind lands at this point. Soaz could be diving Marin.
Also,
right
Kench is trailing Amazing, but he's burrowed, doesn't see him until it's too late. The tremor sense triggers, and he knows
champions coming.
He knows that maybe they were on top of each other. Kench is a fairly large fellow.
The thing is, they don't show up in the mini-map, so if he's focusing on what's in front of him, he has to look at his own screen and scroll back down.
All right, no excuse. It was just poor. It was just a poor.
Yeah, just a tiny misplay. That's what we've seen from Origen before. They execute a lot of strategies in the mid game decently well, but then they make this minor slip up, whether it's some hesitation, face checking a brush here. So us, nope. Origen this time.
Oh, but he didn't realize who was there. It was only Marin who was hitting it. Wolf is around. Here comes the binding. He's going to miss, though. All the spell shots are going to whiff.
Just cover fire.
Bang's around on the backside. Of course, Bang does have ulti. 2-1-1 on him. Could start another fight. Top side, fairly similar items, and despite the fact that Marin had 2 deaths, he's got so much farm. Soaz again looks for the fight, will land the grand challenge all the way, but look how little damage he actually dealt. The lack of farm hurting him here. And the rest of the team is coming. Here they come for the fight. Wolf is low, but has the gray help. Niels will go down to Bang, takes the wrong state, and oh, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. 3 kills already. It's gonna be 4 before long. Amazing. He's gonna tunnel away. He will survive, actually. And now Bengi finds the dunk. xPeke is in a really bad spot. No flash. Shockwave's gonna land. It's gonna be 4 kills easily for SK Telecom T1.
That is such a huge swing. That is so difficult to come back from. This is going to be a Baron on top of it, and then SKT are going to take a commanding lead here. Peke had actually started to move up the river, but didn't pull trigger the teleport. Easyhoon just teleports right in there, and they cut off Origen as they're trying to come in and help.
Problem for Origen is they're trying to get rid of this split push situation they're finding themselves in by collapsing on the first time we have people collapsing on Marin. Look at Amazing and Mithy on your minimap. The problem is, if you force SKT to play on 2 lanes or just a single lane, you will be caught into a team fight. And you look at Niels right here. He's pathing through the brush with no vision, focusing Wolf. Bang! Just takes him out immediately. Just a little bit of damage from Bengi there. And at this point, the fight is lost because Wolf denies the death on Renekton here. Amazing has to path out, and xPeke, just as we pointed out, isn't even in the fight.
Yeah, Tahm Kench's biggest power is nullifying cooldowns of the enemy team and nullifying damage output of the enemy team. The burst from Niels, his combo was used on Tahm Kench, then Bang arrives and gets to use his full 80 carry combo to out in that duel, and Wolf still has enough health to survive and go save Soaz. Meanwhile,
he's got enough to go kill off Soaz now as well. Soaz blocks only a slow with riposte, does dodge away from Bengi's knockup and all as well.
Soaz has done a good job of getting himself out of very dangerous situations.
Origen correctly identifying Marin as a shot caller and front runner on a lot of these map-wide plays from SKT, trying to collapse him in early before the split push sets in, relying on xPeke being able to wave clear in a numbers disadvantage, but Marin showing why he's such a smart player. He very rarely gets killed in these exchanges. He may seem to get caught, but he's always manages to find a way out.
Not only does he avoid getting killed, he always earns this, look, 3-level advantage over Soaz, annihilating the minion wave, moving on, and keeping up the pressure. Now down bottom, he's going to try and split push while the rest of it
He's actually fighting Niels.
Keep up pressure.
Niels has to run. Meanwhile, topside's getting saved. Niels is definitely going to die. There's the Origen swag, and just like they might have their second loss.
Again, SKT as a team, they turn around bad situations in their favor. Marin gets collapsed upon while he disengages. Then instead of letting people base, he trails, finds one guy still trying to base there, Niels on the minimap. He dashed in, got him low, and on the other side of the map, they're pushing in, using On the Hunt for even more pressure. Origen, they just don't know how to deal with this. All they have is wave clear from Anivia, but it's so hard to do that into the Baron buff.
And they slowly keep these turrets alive. They still drop though, and of course Marin, who had already won the 1v1, getting plenty of damage down to the bot side. He's still got a Baroned up wave. This will be another turret picked up, so SK Telecom up 6 turrets to 2, 9 kills to 3. They've got almost everything they could want in this game. Even Bengi invading into Amazing's jungle while his 80 carries back in base.
They've cleaned up everything outside the inhibitor turrets of the Origen base so far.
I do like what Origen's trying to do though. They're the first team really that tries to fight SKT before they get the entire split push down. Split push's strategy is very weak when you're trying to set it up. If you get all 3 lanes pushing at once with some wards in between, you generally lose out once you collapse on a single lane. So they're trying to hit Marin before he gets going.
Before those wards come in.
They're just not executing it all that well. And then, most importantly, they don't back off on a bad play. Like on top, sometimes you just gotta let him go.
And do that. And of course, part of it did go well, right? Marin started out 0-2-0, but as you mentioned, the misplays. Now he's 2-2-1. Marin was always up in CS, even with all those deaths. He was routinely outlaning Soaz, and Kobe, you talked about picking for a lane matchup to hold down Riven. Maybe Soaz would do it. This time Marin's doing it, and yes, he won the lane matchup, and this Fiora, down 3 levels, can't win the one-on-ones.
Origen's main goal right now is just holding on, making it 10 more minutes into the game, trying to wait for the scaling.
Fatigue your opponent.
Almost a 5,000 gold Baron power play, this one from SKT. Dragon stacking is going to get to be a problem as well. So Origen, the timer is ticking. It's very difficult for them to hold on because SKT have been diligent in keeping up the dragon stacking as well as the lane pressure. Number 4 going to come very, very quickly here. This one will go uncontested, and Origen may make a stand at number 5.
A patient player by SKT, pushing all lanes, warding in between, they back off, and they get another dragon uncontested. So Origen, yeah, waiting for that 5th dragon, maybe sneaking a Baron fight somewhere, trying to pick somebody off. But it's getting incredibly hard in these team fights to start winning them. The shield's coming out from Easyhoon. If that's on cooldown, you still have Devour. because the fact that they're actually trailing ahead in gold, Marin is not losing this late game matchup for Fiora into Renekton. So it's very hard to find a win condition right now for Origen other than a major mistake from SK Telecom.
And this team is not known for major mistakes. SKT, so good at closing out their games. Dragon 4 picked up already, so another minion wave clears even faster. 50% bonus damage to minions for Dragon 4. Bengi starting to really push forward. The wards, very good from SKT right now. Many down to that bottom jungle. Starting to come down to the left side as well. Amazing says, hey, you're taking away my jungle. Could you stop that? Bengi says, no.
No, I'm not gonna leave around the most annoying jungle smite. SKT take over the Wolf Wisp. Bengi has been unperturbed by the Gragas global ban here. He's performed so well on this Jarvan. The jungle targeting has not been an issue for SKT at all.
Yeah, 3-man knockup in the first game, really winning one of those fights there. Origen right now, they're grouped. If you look at itemization too, Mithy forced to go for, nullification of that Silver ulti with Talisman.
One more hit would do it, and the turret does go down. A flash force away from xPeke. And oh, wow, the damage from Bang nearly kills off Niels, and who got a fight on the side. But Bang had already picked off the kill thanks to red buff. Soaz forced to flash. Boomerang Blade will not quite land, but it comes back, and Bang with dissonance will pick up that kill as well. There's a double for him. The rest of the fight continues. xPeke knocked up, stops the Glacial Storm, and now that egg has nothing to do but get hatched. As he's attacked and killed. Back into an egg, back into a Nivea, dies anyway. 3 for 0.
A complete stampede here from SK Telecom. Pops on the hunt. Origen already used their disengage tools to secure that tower. Wall was used, ultimate from xPeke was on a minor cooldown. Then Niels is caught up running away. Niels needs to be able to stand still and trade. Then maybe he can win, but if Bang gets 2 uncontested autos, at that point, all you can do is
crits. Bang has been rolling deep in crits this game.
roll the dice.
Better dice than Marin certainly in this game, but he's been wave clearing down to the bottom side. 3, 2, and 1, still the ever-potent split push threat that Origen have yet to deal with all series long.
Yeah, and then once you disengage, usually that's enough distance to cover. But then again, Anivia is so weak. Wall is down at this point. If they had Wall, they could disengage you. Good aggressive flash from Bang, and
you got the auto crit and reset crit as well.
2
Unlucky.
and 4. Still takes 4 autos. Ended up 50-50, but yeah, just great chase down. And Soaz can't even 1v1 the AD carry. I mean, imagine what happened last game when Marin fought Niels.
it was an AD carry with the shield there from Oriana, though, helping him a little bit. But at the same time, I like the Abyssal Voyage too against Anivia, because once she disengages, you can close a lot of distance, getting behind enemy lines. All you need to do is slow her down, and that's what Wolf has been doing repetitively in these fights. Marin found himself behind. Amazing, though. Pincer here from SKT.
Baron is already going down, and rapidly at that. It's down to 1,000 and an easy pickup. SK Telecom, their second Baron of the game. The first one got him a lot of turret kills. This one could win them the game.
With mid lane already open, it should be easy for SKT to keep up the pressure here. Soaz actually will even have a hard time 1v1ing Bang here. Bang doesn't have summoners though, so that would be his one hope. His ward does see Wolf though, so there goes all of that hope.
And he can QSS Grand Challenge anyway. We've actually seen now both times the AD carry getting QSS, or at least Mercurial Scimitar, 4th items because of the Fiora matchup. In later game team fights, Soaz will cut a wave down. That is something gained for Origen, a bit of time. But this wave must be killed if that's to do anything.
Yeah. And again, Marin consistently away from his team. Just split pushing in the bot lane right now. He took away red buff. He's always moving first to keep an additional lane pushing. Never commit to a single lane.
Spell shield's down. Bang gets caught, but eaten away by a wolf. Stun did not land for xPeke. Did not buy him the time they needed. Bang pops ulti and the team runs away.
Yeah, and they can't afford to chase all the way through, make it a potential collapse with Soaz because there's so much pressure from Marin already in the bottom. Now he's done pushing bot lane. He's TPing top.
Blue trinket even used to spot him. Soaz has to take the long way around. It will buy a bit of time for Origen as the rest of the team is chasing Soaz. He's still trying to run. Command distance buys even more time. Wolf's on the run. Soaz does have one more jump. Gets some damage. Gets a riposte. And he's gone.
Because SKT were pushing all 3 lanes there as well, there's nothing that Origen could get while Soaz was running around. xPeke tried to go top and add an extra wave of pressure top, but that's only a few minions, won't kill a turret or anything.
And that's the playstyle.
SKT return bottom, yeah.
Push every lane. If you do lose a fight, which is where on itself for SKT there's very rare occasions where teams can actually capitalize with an additional objective. You lose a fight around Dragon against it, or you win a fight around Dragon against SKT, yeah, you can take a Dragon, but almost never can you take another tower, and that's why they came into this series without having dropped a single tier 2 turret. Origen, with some creative shot calling, some really good laning phases so far, have breached those towers. They've actually gave SKT a run for their money, but still, in the late game, SKT showing just complete dominance of macro level shot calling too.
You talked earlier about how hard it is to siege against Oriana. It's even worse siege against Anivia, and SKT have still managed to crack a good portion of this base by pushing those other waves down as well.
So critical that they were able to get that mid inhibitor turret down, because once you have Baron buff now, it just flows right in.
Also, yeah, the SKT is doing a good job just sieging other lanes than Anivia too. Never commit 5 mana to Anivia lane, because then wall and ult just get too much value. Marin consistently split pushing, and you can see so far ahead.
This is Dragon number 5 that will get annihilated really
Whoa! Already 1 kill picked up. Make that 2. No, amazing. Just barely slinking away, and a big wall says no thank you. But that's a Dragon 5 that goes to SKT, no problem. Meanwhile, Soaz doesn't get the memo that the team disengaged. He's going to be an easy kill. Goes over to Wolf.
Yeah. Push all lanes, deny vision, and wait for the imminent phase check. And OG were forced to make this play. This was probably their best play, and hope that SKT made a mistake in their warding. But right now, Peke.
As QSS, I don't believe it blocked the double E damage, but either way, Peke forced to run away. Marin now next up in the chase. A flash, there's the hit. That egg's not going to be long for this world. It will turn back into Anivia, and the question is, can Peke make the outplay? Marin, nice stun. Yeah. Can't re-engage the Q to make it stun the target. Beautiful play right there, good knowledge of the mechanics, and now the push continues. SKT inside the base, there's the dunk, it blocks it, amazing. A nice shield from Oriana, still on the push forward. Origen forced to run away from their own base.
Well, SKT are going to move right in then and take down Nexus turrets.
3-16, all is well for SKT. Nexus turret number 1 goes down. Dragon 5 picked up. It makes the push easy. Individual play made it all happen. In perfect unison, the swag comes out. And SKT are 1 game away from their 2nd World Championship final.
The synchronized flag spam right there. Probably the best that we have seen yet as well.
I've seen some really good penta icons there in group stages. Add some flavor to the dying Nexus, but overall, yeah, this was one of the signature compositions that Origen ran in group stages. A lot of success found in that Anivia composition, but many people question its use in this matchup because it plays into SKT's strengths. You go for the slow late game approach from Origen. Yeah, sure, maybe you may be good at that, but you just give away too much in the laning phase, get too far behind, and you see how well SKT plays around vision control in between lanes, vision denial mostly. Origen, they only found 3 kills in this entire game.
And unlike the first one, there was no sizable early game lead for these guys. Yes, a great level 1, got on first blood, nice bindings, nice stuns and all that, but you talked about it in the lane matchup. Despite the potion and a longsword lead for the AD carry, despite a bunch of health in the advantage, SKT still held equal or maybe even won that 2-on-2 lane. Bot lane turret actually pretty much died at the 2-on-2 once the swap came in. You saw Marin yet again crush Soaz in the lane, despite Origen ganking twice. That Renekton was 0-2, still up 80 minions, still up 4 levels, still winning the 1-on-1.
Yeah, there was one key matchup where, or 2 critical moments really of Origen just going a little bit too far in both these games. One time, Amazing going for a dive under the tower. This time, another dive that went wrong, where I think where Amazing made the right play, but the binding from Mithy wasn't communicated well enough when they were trying to kill Marin under his own tier 2 tower in the top lane. You can't afford to make those mistakes, man. Not against SKT.
When you're against one of the best teams in the world, little mistakes will kill you, and it did in that one. So to break down that 2nd semifinal victory, let's send it back over to Dash.
Thank you, gentlemen. Game 2 there for SKT. So looking good in this series so far. We had a lot of questions coming in about how red side teams would adapt to the pick and ban because of the Gragas. So we've now gotten the opportunity to see SKT on their red side as well. They chose to stick with the standard more GP Elise bans and not alter away from it as Origen did.
I think this is the standard purple side. Like, we don't want to lose pick and ban that hard. So you ban the Elise, give them the Rek'Sai, that's doable. I think the way they played it is they gave the Rek'Sai up knowing they want the Jarvan, because you see them take the Oriana early, and I think that's baiting Peke into an immobile mid. So that's where the Jarvan actually becomes more viable of a champion when they do the Ori Jarvan into an immobile mid.
I think that's definitely true. And not only that, but it shows us something about SK Telecom's priority. Game 1, they banned Tahm Kench. Game 2, they first picked Tahm Kench on the red side. So they're making a trade right now saying that we would rather have banned the Elise, make sure you get Rek'Sai as long as we get Tahm Kench. And I can't really argue it after that first game and how well Wolf played it, how many of his teammates he saved, the plays he was making with the Tahm Kench ultimate. It looked very, very valuable indeed.
Yeah, Tahm Kench's ability to stifle most aggression, even in the laning phase, when they had to play from a pretty big deficit because Niels came to lane with longsword and potions versus basically a very disadvantaged Tahm Kench. And even in the laning phase, they were able to stifle aggression.
Yeah, we saw a number of kills saved last minute by Wolf with the consumption of a teammate. Now I want to kind of take a look at how this played out in the early game. As you mentioned, they set up an immobile mid laner against Easyhoon and brought the Jarvan in, but we saw a lot of focus in the mid lane in general, which is not something we necessarily expected with these two teams matching up.
Yeah, I was actually really happy that, I mean, The only thing is, Malphite would be their only option. So say that is their plan, is they give this Malphite something that you could just leave up there as a rock. That means you have to abuse the level 6 TP bot, force that 3v3, because Malphite's going to win every 3v3 bot. And then it means if you win this game, game 4, they're not going to let you have Malphite anymore, because they know your strategy. So I don't think this is something that they can actually reuse without it just being banned out instantly.
I think the final thing to kind of hit is what they can do regardless outside of picks, right? In terms of their actual play and their shot calling, because we have seen Origen a couple times in this tournament make fantastic Baron calls, which put them ahead in games. They did that in game 1, they didn't close it out. But where can they look to make really decisive calls that might throw SKT off of their traditional and very methodical play style?
I think it's hard to say that until we see the picks and ban phase, because depending on what Faker plays, they could play very differently. If he's playing a low wave clear champion, that answer may be that question that, okay, we can start really putting emphasis on that mid lane, push, 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 try and get play for towers with the Tristana, with the fast push like we saw them doing in the first game of the series. So I think it's hard to say that until we know exactly what they're playing.
Right. We are giving Faker a little bit more time to get ready on stage as he's had to make the substitution. Another curiosity or thought would be, as you mentioned again, leaving some of those larger power picks open. If Tom Kench, Mordekaiser, GP, Lulu, all of a sudden we see a team decide in their possible final game here to leave everything up and really play the game of trading the power picks, how does that work out?
The unfortunate thing is SKT can block it, as they did in game 1 when Origen decided to ban out junglers on one side. But if it didn't, I would like to think you first pick Gangplank, because he is the unanimous #1 pick amongst most professional teams. And then you trade that for something like Mordekaiser and X. Hopefully that's Tom Kench or Lulu. If Origen wants to win, it has to be.
All right, well, that's about all of the possibilities that could happen in Champions Life. Let's send it over to Freak, Kobe, and Crepo in the caster booth for the play-by-play.
Thank you very much, Dash. And yes, we are getting ourselves ready to get into this matchup here. Faker is in for game 3. We've seen it happen before when the team is down 0-2, and like, Faker, come in and save us. Now they're up 0-2, and like, Faker, send us into the World Finals. Like, and you know, I wonder if it's
just deciding on Origen's fates. Like, yeah, no.
I mean, yeah. What if Faker like actually tanks somehow? He's like, he's got to go back in.
Faker,
like
Faker,
the dark
Faker,
alternate.
Faker, Marin, hello.
Yeah, no, obviously Marin's the big one.
Marin is
They didn't bring Marin a sub. They didn't need one.
I think Marin is like the best top laner in the world right now.
Oh, really? Wow, that's a big
Wow.
I want to go into
making
some
the bold
history.
predictions.
Yeah, we're going to go into some history here, because Marin has had a long road to this point.
Okay.
When he came out of solo queue, they picked him up because he was supposed to be the top lane Faker. He was the solo queue star. This guy is a shot caller now. This guy does everything. He used to have this weird thing where he would buy home guards really early, and everyone was like, well, I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon. But he gets so much of an experience advantage from it. He gets so much map control, and he's able to early buy these Tiamats like every game, so he can instantly clear waves. He just constantly builds up this slow lead over the opponent, and then eventually, oh, you get to 25 minutes, and he's 3 levels up on your top laner.
Yeah, he just has this annoying like mannerism of just always getting ahead. And the first time Marin popped on a lot of people's radar is just, when he started getting known for having the second highest GPM in like LCK as a top laner in a very lane swap oriented meta where half the games he wouldn't even be starting in normal lanes, but he had this play style of teleporting early back to the lane, playing around, that advantage mostly on Maokai, just spamming saplings, breaking the conventional lane swap meta back in Korea. So,
and you can't ban him out either. I mean, you're gonna ban away Fiora. Well, he doesn't really care. He's gonna play Renekton. He's gonna play.
Well, that's the thing though, is I don't feel like Origen have tested him properly, right? Like, coming in, he's a really, really good Fiora player, and they thought, okay, we think Kennen's the kind of pick that's going to work, and they tried that didn't work. Okay, Origen tried, let's steal the Fiora, so let's make him play Renekton. That didn't work.
You can't just pick one champion and then be like, okay, that's gonna work. You have to focus around top lane,
And they tried that last game. Renekton was 0-2. And then it broke apart anyway, right? Like, no matter all these things that Origen keeps trying to hold down Marin, Marin perseveres.
See what they can do this game. Origen backs against the walls. They need to make this one count.
We're going to see the Gangplank here. And just kill Faker. Plain and simple. We kill the Faker, and then we move on.
Down 0-2.
They've got the support. They need to rally now. I've seen my fair share of reverse sweeps.
You guys are experts on this matter. I don't know anything about reverse sweeps whatsoever. Never experienced
I feel the
one.
Cloud9 vibe flowing through Origen right now.
High rips off his jersey. Fills in for xPeke.
I like the Kench ban.
Who's
All right,
game
so
anyways.
Rek'Sai, Mordekaiser,
TP both up.
Gangplank.
Yeah, SKT banning out Mordekaiser. This is what we've seen very often. 2 target bans,
Yes,
1
you wanna
OP
give us
away.
TP?
We'll take Gangplank.
So they give him Rek'Sai. Usually the pick and ban start very similar to how they did over in game 1, but this time around Origen doesn't have those target bans against champs like Azir they had before, so those champs are up for the second round for SKT. It's not a great champion for xPeke. Meanwhile, the Tom Kench that went early first round, that was gone now.
Now looking at Amazing's choices for jungle, though, it is pretty difficult because Evelyn has been his next go-to, but Evelyn into Rek'Sai is so annoying because of Tremor Sense. You lose out on a lot of the advantages that she does bring towards the mid game and the late game, trying to move around for flanks. You can almost never get a flank off. You can almost never get the surprise off.
I like what Origen's hovering right here, picking the Lulu, which you need to. You can't afford not to. This is one of the compositions they actually did the best on protecting Niels. It also fits well into, you can let Lulu slightly lose against Marin in the top lane. You steal away the Alistar, and the Tom Kench is already banned, so pressure on SKT, and more importantly, you hide your jungler until the next rotation, and maybe you can get something nice out of there.
Niels has been such a huge star for this team. I like what Origen is doing. Like you said, playing around him, getting Lulu to buff him up. Put all their eggs in that basket and see if Niels can outplay.
And as the analyst has mentioned, counter-picking against Faker. This Lulu is a flex, so Origen can wait to that last spot to realize, does it go to Soaz? Does it go to xPeke? And making sure these matchups look correct here. Origen can pick jungle and AD carry next. SKT looking to steal away that Tristana, and with Tom Kench gone, right back to Shen.
2 global moves already for SKT. So Origen, when you have a Lulu on your team, you want to group up, you want to get the team fight, you want to be able to buff up the other members of your team and go for the 5-on-5 team fight. SKT already have multiple tools to move around the map and try and continue to play with multiple points of pressure.
And they steal away the Tristana, which means usually a team that runs a Lulu composition against a AD carry, hyper carry, ends up opting in for the Jinx, and they already have really good answers to that, you know, with the Taunt Flash, with the Burrow. So maybe Origen will have to stray from the strategy and try something else.
Yeah. Plus, if they are pulling Origen around the map, Tristana will quickly take down those turrets, and SKT will look to rake in that money.
I want to see Lee Sin come out of Amazing. Just get some forward pressure, some engage, some creative gank paths, because you can go over walls and surprise your enemy. Because so far, every single time Bengi has been reading Amazing overall, he's not been able to find any ganks. SKT has been doing well dodging most of them, and the most of the ganks that works is when he goes over the walls and surprises people with his pathing.
And Origen gonna go ahead and stack up some wave clear. Lulu in the solo lane, Sivir off onto one of the sides. The Lee Sin does come through here. So Origen hoping to withstand the early pressure, but their late game is really not here right now. I don't know what they're gonna pick up to make that all work.
I don't think you even draft an insurance policy for late game. I think you go all in for mid game for Origen. Try and hit that mid-game spike of 2 items, Sivir, buffed up with Lulu. Go for the playmaking with Alistar and Lee Sin.
I think we'll see Lulu mid and maybe a Darius or Fiora top lane here. Overall here coming out of Soaz in the end. Just trying to snowball top lane, play wave clear. Because you only played it, if you lock in double wave clear mid and bot, generally indicates that you want to get a top lane carry out of there.
Oh, well, you said maybe cash in on early mid-game leads, but Rumble is one of the kings of early game. From that top side, winning team fights whenever you want with Equalizer, but it is offset by Faker, having a hard scaling Rise.
Rise can also be dove by Alistar fairly early on. Rise is fairly squishy, doesn't have any dashes either, so if the bottom lane can make some sort of play, I mean, on these 2 champions, it was Amazing and Mithy who were able to come up with solo kills versus NL.
So a whimsied Lee Sin or a whimsied Alistar, certainly good ways to get a fight started if that is indeed mid lane Lulu here. The hovers now for Origen. They know Soaz up against Marin. And finally, it's a matchup that I think Origen can come into and think they can win the one-on-one. Rumble not known for his 1v1. The 1-4 sort of setup for SKT, not as good with Rumble here. So Origen, can they break the map open?
Yeah, they need to break the mold though, because right now they're opting into a composition that requires them to play around the top side. And every single game, they kind of default back into the play around Niels style. Even if they briefly play around Soaz for a while, they really need to get that snowball going. Soaz now with the Narpic picking for a phenomenal split push lane. One of the strongest split pushers in the game because he can really control the distance he keeps his enemies at.
Also a decent team fighter though, of course, Meganar. So a well-rounded pick for Soaz here in Origin. Have some playmaking. They have a lot of gank pressure from a lot of these different lanes, a lot of movement speed. And then it can come together into the 5-on-5. SKT though, have such a suite of powerful champions. The damage output here from Rumble, Rise, Trist is a lot.
Pretty long curve though. They have a really big spike early with the Rumble level 6, but if you thwart that Rumble and you can keep him down in the lane, then SKT become very late game focused in their composition, and we may see a different Origin proactive in the mid game. Get an advantage, especially Amazing on that Lee Sin again.
That's definitely going to be the key point for Origin. Can Amazing create some early game action with Lee Sin? Bengi will be lurking around with Tremor Sense, so they have a wide area to look for Amazing's position and set up for counter ganks. So you have to be very careful when playing against Rek'Sai, especially in the mid game where she gets an advantage with her ultimate, getting right back out onto the map.
There's this tiny window where Lee Sin hits level 6 and the support is sitting on level 4 or 5, especially if Wolf is playing Shen. That's when Amazing has to strike, get a gank behind, kick somebody in the lane before Stand United becomes available, and then try and snowball on that.
Snowball
advantage.
the Silver lane.
We'll see if the Silver lane can be snowballed, and if you guys at home think it's going to happen, if you think the ganks can originate from Amazing, then tweet hashtag OG win. Or if SKT makes it 12-0 and heads into their second final here at the World Championship, it's hashtag SKT win. Here we go, everybody. Game 3 here in Brussels. Who's going to the final?
I am.
Me too.
Yeah, cool. You coming, Kobe?
I mean, both of these teams could very well go.
Who's playing in the final? None of us. The home crowd
says
certainly-
Origin.
Crowd would like it to be the case.
Or T or Eskigen is going to win this game, according to the crowd.
Niels says Origin.
All right, I want to see this. I want to see SKT make the same mistake, so at least we see it once. I don't want to see it punished where they leave their top side Gromp double jungle exposed to a delayed invade. So at least next to be like, I'm right. Because early ward came out here, I believe from Marin in the top lane.
SKT showing a few different things. Niels does get the reset. Well played. But when that second one comes down, that will reveal if there's a Gromp start. Sivir Alistair, one of the very worst duos at taking Gromp. We'll see if that ends up being their start here. Every game has actually started with Origin having a very good level 1, whether a first blood or a 3 buff in the same game actually, or just being on the right side of the map at the start. SKT looks to not be allowing that this time around. Soaz and Amazing going to be double jungling their red buff, or maybe the Krugs.
SKT looking to stop the Gromp.
Looking to stop, but they're going to walk into a ward. That's risky. They have no trinket wards available anymore. And again, look at the river where SKT is doing that Gromp right now. They technically could get delayed invaded upon by Amazing and Soaz here. Go for a kill, get the Gromp away. So they're somewhat greedy in the trinket usage.
I do like what Niels and Mithy did there. Just even though they knew there was a ward on Gromp, they just stayed around it so that Bang and Wolf couldn't go grab a small minion somewhere else. And it's going to be even lanes, standard setup here. Taunt does miss.
Wow. But already Bang getting a giant chunk out of Niels. Stun doesn't mean a whole lot against Chen, who can heal himself.
But they're fighting an Origin minion wave here. The Origin caster minions were attacking SKT members.
This is one of the reasons.
Slightly got ahead there.
One of the reasons that you want the Shen to not do a camp and just stop them so you can skill taunt early instead of the Q and just go for aggressive trades. As long as you trade on the AD carry, you're always in favor. Obviously, taunt doesn't connect, and then they really use the minions well in their advantage on Origin side, but they're still being zoned off here.
Level 2 first. Bang doing a great job of pushing in already. Rocket jump has been skilled. Meanwhile, Marin versus Soaz up in the top lane. Soaz already level 2, but only with 3 CS.
Oh, didn't get it. No hyper.
No hop. Nothing gained up. Niels and Mithy find level 2. Will he learn heal? Looks like he learned headbutt instead, because no heals are coming out of Mithy right now.
Probably is hovering on a point. Mithy likes keeping
Yeah,
that
he's
point
hovering.
hovered until somebody expects you to take heal. You see Bang and Wolf, they will play with respect up until the point they see the first heal come out. And right now they just want to poke down. Mithy did get a surprise kill on Alistar before, skilling a random headbutt there on level 2.
Bengi is also slightly ahead of Amazing as far as camps, and he's going to end up bottom, whereas Amazing is going top side. So Amazing is going to go with top lane focus this time around.
And they ping the ward.
They ping the ward.
Amazing knows where the vision is, but the question is how much can you really have happen?
He has Trinket Ward available, so he can pull a Safeguard Trinket Ward.
So as jumps in, lands
giving
a
it away.
swell,
Really early, though.
and nothing happens at all. Marin playing with proper respect and knowing Bengi's in the bot side.
He knows something is up right now. He knows his jungler is in the
Yeah.
bottom side of the map. They can roughly deduce where Amazing started, and more importantly, never will a Gnar randomly hop in front of you in that lane. It's a sick mind game if it works, but there's no other place on the map either where Amazing could gank. That's the problem right now for
Especially in a matchup like Gnar versus Rumble, which is so swingy. It's very snowbally. If you do get behind and Gnar can get to the Hex Drinker early, you can punish. Otherwise,
Wolf with some Fog and War play, leaving Bang 1v2 in the lane, just imitating a roam here, just putting some pressure. You don't necessarily see what that causes, but that causes xPeke to just play slightly more passive in the mid lane whenever that gets called, until he shows back into the lane.
And look at Bengi.
is going to turn mini and have to play very safe now.
Beautiful by him. Slow's not quite going to land for Marin, but Bengi can look for the knockup. Will he burn flash for it? Yes, he will. And that's first blood just like that for SKT.
As soon as you get smited with the Chilling Smite, you got a flash there for Soaz.
And Bengi just tells Marin to hang on, waits a little, drops a pink ward immediately, knows he's not spotted, knows he can go for that play. And then you can see the player cam already on Soaz there, just almost facepalming, saying like, not going too great. Now he has to use his teleport to get back to the lane, and that initial gank from Amazing was so important. They had to stick or do some pressure at least.
Amazing, meanwhile, trying to counter jungle on the bottom side, but he will get spotted out by Faker.
Just used his ward too.
Okay, Ghost Pop. Faker takes the Q. Peke's nearby. Could use Help Picks and Glitterlance to do some damage. Faker loses Ghost for nothing. Turns out all right for Amazing, but Bengi's slinking around to the side. He's gonna know Amazing is right there fighting the Raptors. Of course, Bengi is flashless, but Faker's in range. Good ward hop. Amazing's okay. Bookkeeping right now, but it's a small lead for SKT. The first blood putting them ahead. Nice taunt onto Mithy. Good chunk of damage here.
They can't trade back, not into a full minion wave. Niels getting some mana here for wave clear. Go look at the base though. If you see 47 CS on Niels, that means one more wave and then he can get a BF sword. That's why they're just taking some damage, just trying to push it as aggressively as
Yeah,
they
he
can.
wants that cannon.
Yeah.
Got it.
55 CS is the mark of a BF sword.
Look at Bengi though, he's circling down around the bottom side now. Another short taunt.
Ooh, good chunk on a Bang though. Of course, he's going to recall himself pretty soon. Bang's only one wave away from getting it.
Gotta be careful. I mean, going for these greedy trades or just trying to poke Niels low enough for him to stay, that could turn into a 2v3 really quickly.
It's actually a fairly risky invade there for Bengi. I don't think they saw Amazing up top side again. But he is able to get off the prompt counter jungle there.
And Bengi's really just running circles around Amazing. This is at least his second Scuttle Crab kill. He's already got a first blood and is still tied in farm right there. So great play by Bengi so far.
Look at your minimap. Niels wanted to get one more wave because he didn't want to sit on a single BF versus BF. He wanted to push one more wave in the bottom, but Wolf pathed into the bot lane, canceled Niels' base, and now Niels is behind on the play, even though Origen bot lane were winning 2v2, so really good cancel there from Wolf.
Could mean a lot of tower damage with Tristana coming back with her BF sword.
And Mithy already leaving too. He's going to support xPeke. Probably wants to drop a couple of wards there on either side.
Soaz looking for the play though. He's close to Mega Gnar, is level 6 as well. Marin just takes a chunk of damage. Now there is a difference in potions. Bang has 1 to the roughly 4 of Niels. That might not mean much though.
OG's looking for a top lane dive. Mithy's pathing all the way to the top lane with no boots whatsoever. Sitting on Sidestone. Went from bottom lane all the way to top try right now. They're looking to counter gank. This could be big.
And the Mega Gnar is traded with the Equalizer. The wave goes away and Bengi's already coming. Soaz Does not have to worry about Bengi's flash just yet. Nice flash to stay alive, and now here's the team. Soaz will survive this. Now who's gonna get picked off? Amazing down to half. A great flash by Marin. A pulverize will land on a Bengi. The smite as well. There's not a lot of moves to be made, and Amazing lands it. A Red Lady strike for a kill. Game back to tied.
Down bottom, let's see if Niels can handle himself alone. SKT know that he is by himself.
Marin has teleport. He can't let the wave get into the tower.
He has to clear this here, and he's going to allow it to push forward. And now Wolf can walk in. There is a minion wave. How good is his spell shield against the taunt? There's enough that nothing happens.
All right, Niels is able to pull it off.
And this is mostly because Faker is running Ghost Flash, so the teleport that xPeke has, he could have done that. It couldn't get cancelled. Faker was not in range, so the teleport from Marin could be matched there by xPeke, and here we see Amazing. Level 6.
Looks for the play, won't quite find Marin. And as I think about that play on the bottom side, I think it was Wolf trying to force xPeke's TP, trying to scare Niels, saying, I need someone, I need someone. But everyone properly reserved, no big pickups there.
But that move, so much invested into that move. If Mithy didn't get any assist there, it would have cost them so much. But he arrived right in time. He actually read beautifully what SKT was setting up. So Origen with, a really good shot call there. Having the support roll from bot to top with no boots, that is a ballsy call.
It's definitely bold, but as Alistair, it pays off.
Soaz
for Bengi though.
Soaz is also earning himself a CS lead now in the top lane while he's pushing this minion wave. But Marin's got a big wave that he can pull back pretty soon here.
We're going to see Bengi just running away, going, of course, for the standard Cinder Hulk on that Rex side, but Amazing really trying to make the early game work. We talked about how they can't wait for Ryze to come online, so a Warrior Enchant Lee Sin.
Yeah, and then on top of that, Soaz actually parting from the traditional Gnar builds that we've seen so far, mostly because they haven't played into any Rumbles. Usually early Frozen Mallet, early Black Cleaver, but Soaz going for a Hexdrinker, avoiding that all-in for Marin, and then having enough damage to kill him afterwards. So
yeah, Hexdrinker is crucial in this matchup. Got to get some magic resist versus the spell penetration early Rumble there.
Marin's just rushing for that Leandri's Torment, though. Blasting Wand already there, has First Blood, has 72 CS. This is a very scary Rumble.
Yeah, Origen just opting into more power to skipping the Aver's Blade just to get another pickaxe, more trading potential, so they want to put pressure on these matchups, hopefully put enough pressure that they can break. Bengi, though,
he got pinged out. They did see him. Soaz has to be careful here going for that ward.
Bengi will clear off the ward, takes a chunk of health, and he's got to be careful. The Dogma Zone's come through.
That's a lot of
damage.
damage.
By Soaz, takes a lot of pain for that. Nearly popped the Hexdrinker. If that did get popped, that cooldown could have meant to dive. But I think the shield will be enough to deter SKT for now. Of course, Marin does have the ultimate.
And Origen can't afford to go top again because Shen can always match their gank, so they really want to gank the Shen lane first, take that tower at least, force the ulti perhaps, get something done there. Meanwhile in the middle lane, Faker has been starting to push in xPeke though on that Ryze. He's uncontested, went to 94 CS, Bang gets combo, should be fine.
That's a missed time though. Of course, Niels had just used Q to clear the wave. If the communication was there, that's 300 free damage on a Bang.
Meanwhile, deep wards. SKT have been able to sneak them in on both sides. We just took a look at Bengi as he went over the back of Baron Pit. Bottom side was also warded up.
Yeah, if your jungle is compromised, you may as well move your jungle straight into the lane and deny Bang the opportunity to push this wave. That's what Amazing is doing right now.
We're gonna look for it. Nice buster shot to buy some time away from Amazing with a flash into the kick, into the Q. Wolf goes down, well played. Summoner Heal keeps Amazing alive, and 2 kills now for Origen.
Love watching the original Lee Sin players. Junglers who have been playing this champion for so long. No hesitation there. Kicks him right into the wall for the stun. And Origen pick up another kill to even up the gold lead.
Meanwhile, one-on-one in the mid lane, Faker getting plenty of damage out. Flashes for the follow. Looks for xPeke, can't quite get the damage. But it is plenty dealt right now. Faker shoving the wave in.
xPeke should be able to wave clear.
And another play to be made up on the top side. Rek'Sai already ulted down to the bot, so now it's the Shen ult to save Marin, but plenty of slows come through. A great dodge on the equalizer. Soaz trying to get away, will be taunted, is burning down, taking plenty of pain. 500 health still up, walks away safe.
Great solo play there by Soaz to take down a long cooldown from SKT.
Amazing. The team is still coming though.
His team's coming, but Soaz really, really well played. Still had Hexdrinker available to avoid that barbecue there in his top lane. Trying to turn that around. Wolf's still stuck.
Oh, xPeke just used his teleport mid.
Yeah, And he's going to push in mid and deny some waves from Faker. If Faker walks top, though, he's going to lose a ton of gold out of the mid lane, so he's going to go back to that one. xPeke safe enough wave clearing this.
Peke has to be careful. This is a point where he's died a lot when his team is making a 3-man play on the top lane for a dive or a push, and he overextends just a slight, tiny bit to push that mid lane.
He should be hovering on the top side of the map because they just got deep wards in on SKT's blue side.
So they spot a lot of people. Bengi's noticed, but he sees Mithy.
SKT could actually opt for a dragon play too. Marin, once he gets level 11 on Rumble with Leandris finished already, such a potent carry in dragon fights, especially with that rank 2 ultimate there on the equalizer.
Still some dread in the bottom lane. Wolf spotted. Here comes Bengi. Here comes Bang. Oh, the flash knockup. Niels ults and flashes out. Now Mithy's caught, but pops his own ultimate to stay alive. And all is well for the Origen duo lane. Bengi's time not rewarded.
Amazing is on bottom side as well. Maybe SKT try and force the dragon anyway. You can see what they're hoping for there. They try and go for the gank to gain advantage in the lane, at least chunk down the duo lane. But Origen actually very healthy and we're able to avoid that gank pretty well.
Faker starting to flex though in this lane. Tyr and Rod of Age is both done, and they're stacking up, and he's already starting to win some fights. Now Wolf getting attacked. Great kick, great knockup, beautiful play by Amazing. But now Mithy is caught out. He's on the wrong side of this fight. Niels can buy him a bit of time, but here comes Faker, here comes Bang. Good
Great
flash by Mithy. But now Amazing's on the wrong side of this fight. Faker's found him. Faker's got the damage. Faker gets the kill. A big mistake from Amazing.
Yeah, Amazing trying to collapse, but his mid laner Peke was still clearing that wave there. Got a little greedy. Really solid kick move there. Isolating Wolf, but that was just...
I think that was Amazing getting greedy, not Peke.
No, definitely Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing's fault there. Just
their bottom lane
his mid lane to
escaped.
come, but just gotta communicate.
And for every 2 good plays Origen makes, they make a bad one. SKT not as prone to those kinds of mistakes. You see that fight again.
This was so good though. The burst from the Brutalizer Lee Sin, full combo right there from Amazing. And they're able to get out after it. Mithy's going to flash the rocket jump here.
And then right here, Lulu just walks back up to the lane. Amazing's still going down.
It's probably just a little bit error in his communication. He sees Peke start the pathing. Usually then you extrapolate, well, in 10 seconds he can be there. I can bait Faker, another shield, EQ, can slow him down. Maybe we can collapse, but... I'll stem a dragon, and that's what Origen generally have been like. Really solid plays, a couple of nice ones in a row, but then they release the pressure. You can't choke somebody out if you give them some time to breathe every 5 seconds for every 30 seconds you choke them, because eventually they're not gonna pass out. Whereas SKT, they'll just keep choking you, and eventually you'll pass out.
And this is going to be the next attempt for this one. Marin has popped ulti, but with no minion wave there. Amazing, afraid of taking aggro. Does take a couple of harpoons to the backside, and Marin navigates away from the 1v2. Now Mithy attacked by Bengi, and the Rumble's close by. Red buff is on, so Mithy slowed down. He's getting more and more damage, more and more health is gone, and a smite kills him off. Huge misplay, and now the fight continues. Peke also limps in. He shouldn't have. He goes down, 2 for 0. Bot lane turret dead as well, and it's getting worse.
Another dive here potentially on the hands of SKT. Really surprised that finish that part later, because Faker wants more.
He's gonna get more. Bengi's got aggro, Marin's got the damage. Shenel to make sure it's all fine and dandy, even though he's not at the tournament, and a double kill for Marin.
Yeah, I'm surprised Mithy didn't opt to take the Scuttle Taxi home. Just W to the Scuttle Crab, then walk away, but he probably was afraid of a collapse there from Faker, but...
It felt to me like they were trying to bait, because he didn't immediately headbutt Rek'Sai away or anything there. So I think that Origen were trying to bait that in, and they thought he was alone for some reason.
It's not the case, and it's now a wide open game. SKT up nearly 4,000 gold already 17 minutes in. The games are getting worse and worse for Origen fans here. No turrets, no dragons. Very little to say for these guys.
Yeah, SKT they just capitalize so well off certain like minor, mistakes. Mithy basing in the enemy jungle, getting stopped, and then they want to turn that around. Just didn't quite get it, and really good roll from Faker. And Faker right now pulling ahead in this Lulu matchup already.
Forcing the flash away now. Amazing looking for the play, but Ghost makes him run pretty fast. Faker knocked back towards the turret. A great insect by Amazing, and it does become a kill. Again, good plays can happen for Origen, but they keep letting up the pressure.
Yeah, I really like Amazing's Lee Sin though. This is exactly what they needed. Some early ganks, some creative plays. He's simply perfect execution on that kick flash into xPeke, predicting it with the Q2. Probably wanted to see that more in game 1 and 2.
Meanwhile, they're able to gain an opening here. First turret down on bottom lane, and Soaz has presence on top side. So he's pushing in a minion wave himself. They just need to avoid confrontation in the middle of the map. Everybody's on the way top side, so Bengi's now the one who has to run away.
And he's going to. Bit of a Q there, not going to mean much from Soaz, who is going towards Frozen Mallet, so this Gnar slow machine will come out at some point. But Peke forced away by Faker, the 1v1 lane. The pressure from this Rise, who's still scaling up, is going to mean mid lane outer could die soon. Here comes the teleports. Peke is back in action. Wolf taunts a little bit far, flashes as well. Now can the team catch back up? Niels with popped ulti. Mithy's coming around. Here's the auto attacks. And that's going to be the kill picked up. Nice one for Origen. 5 to 6 in kills. Now will they find more? Oh! A massive knockup by Mithy. And now forced to run backwards. He's already popped his own ult. Couple of heals come through, but Faker's back in action. Here's the equalizer to cut off the retreat, and Mithy will be an easy kill to pick up. Marin's on a rampage, and Bang is on the chase.
And this, for me, is one of the most impressive traits that SKT have. They manage to very often turn around a bad situation into at least an even, if not a good one. They get 4v5. They still go for this fight now. Bengi canceling Amazing.
And they're going to get that second kill. You said as good or better, and it's going to be better. Now Niels forced to run away, flashing under his own turbo. Faker says, no thank you. I want this kill anyway. Make that 3 picked up. Now Soaz joins the fight and says, hey guys, make it 4. And they make it so. There we go. Massive lead SKT.
The way they juggle the tower aggro, re-engage, and turn around fights seemingly so easily 4v5. It just reminds me of that one push they did the last time they were at Worlds 2, taking like 3 towers, 1 inhibitor at 40-minute mark. They're just so good at this game.
They are, and especially the point you bring up about turning around a bad situation into a winning situation is so impressive, because so many teams, it's basic human nature to fall into the sunk cost fallacy, where you lose someone or someone on your team gets caught and you feel like you have to make up something in the situation because you've already invested something there, yet it's a low percentage play for you and you end up making it anyway. But SKT make those based off of the cooldowns already used by the enemies. Here's the continued chase here.
I mean, just complete commitment. Shen ulti pop to make sure they're all there to lock him down in time.
But look how calm and collected they play this too. Just perfect papping. Bang here finds xPeke, so that's what we didn't see on our screens. He drops out, early some tower aggro, Soaz drops eventually, then they take the tower. Cool, calm and collected. And SKT, they're just so good at waiting for some of you guys to drop, then win a 4v5. They've done it so many times. Or if you're doing Dragon, they pick one of you off.
It's actually pretty funny too, because that's something that like con men will use, and when trying to pull off a long con, it's a part of human psychology. They'll get you to invest a little bit before going off on the final take.
Take a loss so they can win more in the end.
They get the mark to feel like they have ownership of the situation.
SKT, great hustlers in this
getting
one.
Dark here.
Up 5,000 gold, taking Origen for all their worth.
Of that.
And now Faker is in. Soaz has no chance getting away. Hex Drinker, you barely even saw it. Faker missed the skill shot, but gets the solo kill all the same. And it might be more.
Well, Amazing's gonna be on the run here. Bengi's Tremor Sense does see Mithy as well.
And at this point, Origen's composition had a clear purpose and goal. Get Soaz ahead, 4-1 split push, then eventually go back into team fight. Soaz couldn't get ahead. First gang got sniffed out, then Bengi came back with a beautiful return gang, dropping the pink ward on the way out. That was one element of Origen's team come forward, and then they couldn't make the other part work. The 4-man squad couldn't find an opening, couldn't find an on the hunt rush. Now SKT himself in prime position to take yet another win without dropping a single game.
It's impressive what SKT are accomplishing here at Worlds, but it's also impressive what Origen have accomplished this year. This is a team, well, let's see if Soaz can actually get a kill on Faker here.
Accomplishment.
Let's see.
Accomplishments, killing Faker has happened once so far this game. They might double it. Soaz chasing way too far.
I'll take Wolf instead.
All right, well,
Wolf
less valuable kill.
Wolf is sacrificing his KD8.
But back to what Origen have accomplished this year. They've had such a crazy run. This is a team that was just formed. Peke put it back together. They worked their way all the way through the Challenger Series with goals of just being a mid-tier EU LCS team, and they've made it all the way to semifinals at Worlds.
Absolutely incredible. Definitely an amazing setup here by Origen. And a good run all said and done. SKT, of course, won a world championship in their rookie year as a team, so hard to beat that. And SKT looking for their second, actually, right here. Looking for their 12th win, their ticket into the grand final. The final without dropping a single game.
It's so hard right now for for Origen to really come back. They're choked out of vision in their jungle. Baron's about to go down. They have almost no winning plays. And the few plays that they have where they get a tiny bit of advantage, they just invest too much. As we saw earlier, they get a kill on Wolf, but again, they can't capitalize on objective. Why not? Because SKT is always pushing you. Well, then you go for a fight. You just use too many ultis to kill the support. SKT will turn that around and use 4v5, so Origen pretty much drowning right now because there's so much vision that the only fights SKT is willing to take is winning fights right now.
Pretty much every fight SKT could take would be a winning one. They're up 8,000 gold now in this game. Looking to close out the series 3-0. It's only 24 minutes in and the lead is already this huge.
Origen just setting up the reverse sweep story to be that much more impressive.
And
they're hoping it's more than one best of 5, right? They're going to reverse sweep series.
Well,
next year.
SKT are closing the loop. Pressing in on all three. Oh, here comes a OG.
Ooh, nice kickback. Does knock up 2. A bit of damage from Soaz, but an equalizer. They got Marin. Doesn't mitch much. Now Marin. Zonia's Hourglass takes a bit of damage. A nice pickoff there. A missed equalizer and a good capitalized by Origen.
Yeah, where's Faker in all of this? He's I think Faker just took a red buff.
Not even that. He was just in the top side. They were
split pushing. They were pushing all 3 lanes. Now they collapse into mid though. Baroned up minions and they take it.
Oh! Whoa! The long con 4v5. How about we push mid? How about they pick off Mithy as well? Luluwalt means nothing. More flash to run away. And Origen routed out of their own base in a fight that again started 4v5. And Faker finds another one. Soaz will try to reach Meganar and buy a bit more time for himself. But look at Bang. Look at his damage. Bengi will pull aggro. There's the flash. There's the kill. How about a couple more? Amazing goes down. And Bang refuses to be stopped there. 6-0-1 in this game. Bengi running away, thankful that minions are there to pull the aggro. And now a teleport comes in. Marin wants Soaz, and he's going to find him. Look at the flame spitter dealing all the damage, burning his little top hat to the ground. And Soaz will die, potentially his last death of the World Championship, as SKT are already on to the Nexus turrets. Niels goes down, 4-3, but it's not going to be enough. Faker wreaking havoc inside the base. There's turret number 2. There's no stopping him now. It's time for SKT to make it to the finals undefeated. No team has ever made it to the final without dropping a game. SKT could be not only the first double world champion, but the first undefeated world champion in history of the League World Championship.
Yeah, this match kind of embodied how a lot of people saw this entire series play out. Quick-paced game where just SKT outmatches, outmaneuvers Origen, but we can't forget, especially game 1, just Origen doing a lot of great things, giving SKT a run for their money, but now, especially in game 3, you saw the mental aspect way into, not on Niels, he's always smiling.
The mental aspect is key here. It's so taxing to play against a team like SK Telecom that are constantly pushing 3 lanes, constantly making cross-map plays. They force you to reevaluate the game state every couple of minutes and continue to pose these very difficult questions to you and force their enemy team to make decisions all game long. Eventually make a wrong choice and they punish you heavily for it.
You can hear the chants of SKT coming out from the crowd. You know these Belgian fans wanted their European team to win, but recognizing greatness where it's due.
I mean, if there's one team to lose against, as Origen in your first World Championship in the history of the team, because it only got created now, it may as well be a team that very well likely to win the entire tournament undefeated.
I mean, think about Origen as a team. The only best of fives they've ever lost as a team, short as the history may be, SK Telecom T1 in the finals now, and Fnatic in the European LCS final, who may also be finals bound. That's a very, very good first year for Origen. And this is the first year of professional play for Niels, that AD carry, so he's got room to go. xPeke, of course, Season 1 world champion, still has what it takes to play on this stage, but that will be the end of the year for these guys.
And it just shows you also just what teamwork and shot calling and just progression as a team can do, because these 4 members all, when they were playing Easyhoon at least, were all on SKT T1S, back when SKT T1K was like the team, so yeah, a lot of these members just getting under the wings of Coma with the good infrastructure there in the SK Telecom environment. Bang and Wolf, significantly better. Faker being Faker, obviously. And yeah, Marin really showing what a phenomenal top player. Maybe the best player here at Worlds.
I think he's making the case for himself as a total package in terms of his ability to 1v1, win his lanes, and then what he brings to the team as the captain, as the primary shot caller. Marin is absolutely incredible.
I'm still waiting to even dive into the champion ocean of Faker as well. He keeps playing Rise here and showing that over and over and having good performances, but he hasn't even had to delve too deep into the bag yet.
Usually if one guy plays a champion over and over, we're just like, narrow a champion pool. But Faker, no. He played OAF, he can play anything. So interesting comparison right there.
I want to bring up actually a storyline that happened at All-Stars like a year and a half ago, back in Season 3. It was, I forget if it was Rapid Star or Ambition, but they played a bunch of Kennen games to make everyone think he wanted to play a lot of Kennen. And then by the end, it was like, it was just a fake, but I mean, I actually like Kennen now.
It was something they picked up at the tournament. And he
and then he's like, I want everyone to believe that when I get to the final, I really want to play Kennen to pull a ban. Like, this is theoretically like what Faker's Rise is. Like, it's not even his main champion. He's not even his final form right now. And Faker's like, no, I'm just this good. And he has been absolutely amazing. One game in this series, great performance. I mean, SKT is a team. You can't say enough about how good these guys are.
Yep.
I think we covered it.
Yeah, we covered it. I mean, I feel like I'm starting to repeat myself, but yeah.
Yeah.
One of the just impressive things, and we mentioned this a little before in the cast, is just these little things when you watch teams in the mid game in their base, pathing out of the base, zero hesitation. They always just go straight where they end up being. A lot of these teams that are still struggling shot calling, they're like, yeah, I'll go top. Oh no, should I go bot? Okay, I'll go bot then. Yeah, I need some help, jungler. Can you put some vision? SKT, this is all pre-planned like a minute or a minute and a half in advance usually when you see them.